Chapter 2041. Yi Tianyun opened his mouth and swallowed the star power of 2-star monarchs in a row. His star Dharma idol had reached the 3rd level, which meant he could devour the star power of 3-star lords. As they swallowed, the 2-star venerates lost all their astral energy. However, Yi Tianyun only gained 2 cubic meters of star power, which was already the limit. The star power of a star lord and a star venerable were 2 completely different concepts. It was even more difficult to increase the star power of a higher level. After devouring them, he could increase his star power to 30 cubic meters. 30 cubic meters of star power was equivalent to increasing his fighting prowess dozens of times. It was absolutely shocking. 30 cubic meters of star power? Everyone felt a chill in their hearts when they saw this. They hadn't expected that Yi Tianyun could increase his power to such a level. It was far beyond their imagination. The master of star origin was scared out of his wits. He had thought that Yi Tianyun only had an advantage in the burning desolate realm. He had thought that Yi Tianyun was just a greenhorn in front of him. Now it seemed that he had been too naive. The truly powerful one wasn't him, but Yi Tianyun, god of war's fury. Yi Tianyun released the starlight god of war's power once again. He instantly turned into a god of war's emperor dragon. Most importantly, his whole body emitted a dazzling light attribute power. He seemed to have turned into a sharp arrow that pierced toward the master of star origin. A giant light dragon head whizzed out like a giant star. Chaos Fury, Dragon. Yi Tianyun shouted angrily and released his strongest killing move. This time, the dragon head turned into a giant attack that engulfed the master of star origin. When the master of star origin's attack came into contact with Yi Tianyun's attack, it melted and turned into light spots. It didn't have any destructive power. Under the effect of the god of war's fury, the enemy's damage was greatly reduced. The most important thing was the 30 cubic meters of star power, which increased his fighting prowess by nearly 70 times. It was unknown how much more powerful he was than the master of star origin. Even if the master of star origin was a star venerable at the intermediate stage, it didn't matter. The 30 cubic meters of star power was enough to terrify him. The star origin master was very powerful, but he was only slightly stronger than star venerate jade divinity. Even star venerable jade deity had been suppressed by him, let alone a mere master of the star origin. Yi Tianyun had absolute power, which was why he had come here alone. Whatever schemes and plots, he would just crush them all. Break. The Lord of Star Essence roared as he fought with Yi Tianyun. However, the hurricane that his wisdom monarch of wind stirred up was no different from a cool breeze in front of Yi Tianyun. It had no effect at all. Boom. The terrifying dragon claw trampled the Lord of Star Origin and crushed him to the ground. The wisdom deity of wind dissipated, and the wisdom deity of wind's Dharma idol in the star domain dimmed. Everything was easily suppressed by a single move. After the explosion subsided, a massive footprint appeared on the ground. In the center of the footprint lay the Lord of Star Origin. Due to his bloodline, his powerful recovery ability allowed him to survive. However, only his head was left, so he barely survived. If it weren't for his powerful recovery ability, not even his head would have been left. However, he wasn't dead, which was no different from being dead. Yi Tianyun returned to his original body and landed next to the Lord of Star Origin. He exclaimed in surprise, "Eh? You didn't die even after all that. It seems you're quite tenacious. However, it just so happens that I can search your soul and see what you're thinking." If he searched the Lord of Star Origin's memories while he was weak, he would be able to obtain many of them. Then, he grabbed the Lord of Star Origin's head and started searching his soul. Before the soul search began, the Master of Star Origin stared at Lin Ming in horror. Just who are you? How can you be so strong? I've never seen such a powerful move, such a powerful ability. You don't need to know that." Yi Tianyun couldn't be bothered to explain. He started searching the Lord of Star Origin's soul and quickly found some basic information. As for the rest, he couldn't search the Lord of Star Origin's soul. No matter how strong a soul was, it would be turned into an idiot by him. No matter how strong a soul was, it was still just a soul, and it would collapse after a few soul searches. It was only because the Lord of Star Origin's soul was strong enough that he could search the Lord of Star Origin's soul several times and obtain more information. While he was searching the Lord of Star Origin's soul, the Lord of Star Origin got up and looked at him in horror. The Lord of Star Origin, who was so powerful, had been defeated so easily. Now, his soul was being searched. Such treatment was really terrifying. When the Lord of Star Origin recalled the cage technique they had used to trap Yi Tianyun, he found himself too naive. Fortunately, Yi Tianyun hadn't killed them. Otherwise, none of them would have been able to survive. They believed that they wouldn't be able to block that move and that they would surely be blasted to smithereens. What Lord of Star Origin? They were just ants before Yi Tianyun. He's too strong. He's really too strong. Such a powerful star venerable actually appeared in the burning desolate domain. It's unbelievable. Where did he come from? I remember that a unique star Dharma idol appeared a long time ago. Could it be him? How is it possible? That was just awakened. How could it be the heavenly cloud star venerable? I don't believe that he managed to become a star venerable in such a short time. They started discussing the matter, and their gazes became more respectful as they looked at Yi Tianyun. They didn't plan to leave. After Yi Tianyun finished searching the Lord of Star Origin's soul, he got lost in his thoughts. Surprise flickered in his eyes. I didn't expect that he would have such an ability. No wonder, Yi Tianyun was surprised by the Lord of Star Origin's memories. The reason the Lord of Star Origin had spared his life was that he wanted to seize his unique Star Dharma idol. Star Dharma idols could be seized. Even though they had to pay a high price, it was still worth it for a high-grade Star Dharma idol. For example, the reason the Lord of Star Origin had a level 6 Star Dharma idol, the Bright Wind King, was because he had seized someone else's Star Dharma idol. Since he could only have one Star Dharma idol, his previous one had been replaced and couldn't be recovered. Unless the Lord of Star Origin seized someone else's body and replaced it, he would have his current Star Dharma idol. The reason the Lord of Star Origin had been able to hide here for so many years peacefully was that he had relied on other Star Dharma idols to hide from others. Unfortunately, no matter how the Star Dharma idol changed, it was still a green demon deep down. If he changed his body, Yi Tianyun wouldn't be able to recognize him. Of course, no matter how he changed, his soul was still a green demon, unless he changed his soul. But if he changed his soul, would he still be himself? Chapter 2042. Yi Tianyun found a lot of useful information from the Master of Star Origin's memories. Apart from knowing why he had been captured alive, there were other secrets as well. For example, what kind of role did the Master of Star Origin play here? After learning some of the information, Yi Tianyun had a general understanding of the situation. At the very least, he was no longer completely clueless. So what's going on? The Green Demon race is really ambitious. After so many years, they still haven't gotten rid of their ambition to conquer this world. Yi Tianyun shook his head, his eyes filled with murderous intent. Other people who occupied this area wouldn't do anything outrageous, such as enslaving everyone or killing non-humankind beings. For example, the Jade God's ancestral land would only suppress other forces or enslave a portion of them. As for the Green Demon race, it was completely different. If they could not enslave anyone, then they would kill them all. It was that simple. It was precisely this kind of outrageous behavior that caused many powerhouses to be disgusted and attack them. After all, swapping powerhouses was a common occurrence. For example, if it had been any other master, as long as they did not kill indiscriminately, they would not have cared. To put it bluntly, as long as they were treated well, they would not resist too much. The Green Demon race's xenophobic nature caused them to be completely ostracized. This was related to the Green Demon race's situation. They were similar to the Evil Spirit race in that they could increase their own strength by devouring others. Under such circumstances, apart from them, all other cultivators were equivalent to food. Who would make friends with their own food? As a result, the resulting conflict would be magnified infinitely. After searching the Master of Star Origin's soul, Yi Tianyun crushed the Master of Star Origin's head, causing it to turn into a bloody mist that dissipated. Ding! Successfully killed the Master of Star Origin. Obtained 120 million star energy points and 200 slaughter points. Obtained Acalanus of Wind Star Aspect, Level 6, Green Demon Race Bloodline, Rare, Green Demon Race Core. Ding. Successfully completed the main mission Destroy the Master of Star Origin. Obtained 50 million star energy points and 1 chance to evolve the system, accumulable. The main mission had been easily completed, and the rewards were equally generous. Especially when the system had a chance to evolve, it was actually a chance to level up. Now that he had accumulated 3 chances to level up, he could level up one of his skills by 3 levels in a row. This would undoubtedly save him a large amount of star energy, but it wouldn't be worth it to use it during the early stages of the game. Of course, this was not the key. The key was that it could be used to enhance Crazy Mode. If he wanted to upgrade Crazy Mode, he would need to evolve 3 times to upgrade it. Very good, level up for me. Yi Tianyun did not delay leveling up. Instead, he used it to level up. He would level up sooner or later anyway, so there was no need to delay it any longer. Ding. 3 system upgrades have been deducted, replaced with 1 upgrade to Crazy Mode upgrade. Ding. Successfully upgraded to Crazy Mode, all effects increased to 25 times. Can be used to increase the speed of alchemy, taking elixirs, carving star runes, forging, etc. 25 times. Originally, his effect was 5 times. Now, it was equivalent to doubling, reaching 25 times. Come to think of it, it was not as powerful as the improvement of star power. If he used it to devour star power, his fighting prowess would definitely increase by several dozen times, far surpassing the effects of Crazy Mode. Of course, this was only for now. If he continued to upgrade it, the multiplier would definitely be astonishing. Moreover, in terms of practicality, Crazy Mode would have more effects. It could be used for alchemy and other things. It was simply an all-rounder. Ding. Successfully accepted the main mission Eradicate the Green Demon Clan's lair. Obtained 100 million star energy points, 2 chances to upgrade the system, accumulable, and a brand new equipment set. A brand new main mission appeared, and Yi Tianyun squinted. As expected, it required him to eradicate the Green Demon Clan's lair. The previous mission was just an appetizer. He would first eradicate the green demons outside, and then he would start with the green demons inside. It seems like this is just the beginning. Yi Tianyun's expression was grave. He had obtained more information about the Green Demon Clan's lair from the Master of Star Origin's memories. The Green Demon Clan's lair had many powerhouses. If the 5-element mountain had not suppressed them, a large number of powerhouses would have probably rushed out. There were many Star Lords, and many of them were Star Venerables. If they were released, it would really be a nightmare for this region. No one knew where the 5-element mountain's master had gone. Thus, once the green demons were released, the consequences would be quite terrifying. But now, such a difficult mission had been handed over to him. It would be much more difficult for him to personally deal with the Green Demon Clan's lair than to eradicate the Master of Star Origin. Because the Master of Star Origin had switched to another celestial Dharma idol, his true power had not been revealed yet. If he had been able to perfectly match his original celestial Dharma idol, Yi Tianyun would have probably fallen into a bitter struggle. Lord Heavenly Cloud Star Venerable, many thanks for your help this time. If it weren't for you, we would have been eliminated long ago. We know that no matter how much we say, it will be meaningless, and we won't be able to make up for our previous rudeness towards you. Thus, we have decided to serve you as the new Master of Star Origin. We will listen to your orders. The dozen or so Star Lords circled around Yi Tianyun, and their words were very tempting. In the twinkling of an eye, he had become the Master of Star Origin. Did it mean that he could control this place? Won't the others object to me becoming the Master of Star Origin? Yi Tianyun said, looking at them with a smile. How could they object? The Master of Star Origin had a high prestige, but that was in the past. Now, it's the green demons, the hated green demons. What they did in the past was just to make use of us. After we announce it, no one will object to you. That's right. With us in control, there won't be any mishaps. This is our compensation for what we have done. They had decided to support Yi Tianyun, even if it was just to meet him. Do you trust me to manage you? Yi Tianyun said with a smile. You didn't kill us. You even saved us. Your broad-mindedness is enough for you to become the master of Star Origin. That's right. If it were other Star Venerables, they would have killed us out of anger. But you are different. You chose to explain things to us and free us from your control. Just because of this, our lives are yours. They were extremely grateful. As they thought about it carefully, they realized that Yi Tianyun was so powerful that he could kill them easily. But Yi Tianyun hadn't done that. Instead, he had saved them. Chapter 2043. Faced with the loyalty of so many Star Venerates, Yi Tianyun rejoiced in his heart. This was his original intention. Why had he saved them time and again instead of killing them? It was all for the sake of this scene. If he wanted them to immediately pledge loyalty to him or have a favorable impression of him, he naturally had to save them. If not for this, he would not have bothered to save them. After saving them, he would definitely be able to control a faction here. However, he had not expected the results to exceed his expectations, allowing him to directly become the Star Origin Master. Becoming the Star Origin Master meant gaining complete control of this place. How could he not be happy? This was tantamount to taking the faction that the previous Star Origin Master had set up as his own. This was akin to benefiting others. It had to be said that the dead Star Origin Master was truly pitiful. He had set up so many things, yet Yi Tianyun had easily snatched them away. To achieve such an effect, not a single thing could have been missing. Not only did this require the Star Origin Master's arrangements, but it also required Yi Tianyun to show mercy. Of course, it also required Yi Tianyun's strength. Without great strength, even if they were saved, they would not serve Yi Tianyun as the Star Origin Master. Good, then I will become the Star Origin Master of this place. Since I just came into contact with this place, I am not very familiar with it, so I will need you all to assist me. Yi Tianyun smiled and said, however, compared to the previous Star Origin Master, I will be more generous. I will let you all know that serving me as the Star Origin Master will only make your future brighter. If he wanted to maintain his position, he would have to put in more effort than the previous Star Origin Master. At the very least, he would have to put in more effort to maintain his previous state. This was a combination of carrot and stick. Only this way could the faction become more stable. In that case, let us look forward to it. The many Star Venerates smiled. Actually, they were also somewhat worried, not knowing whether Yi Tianyun could manage this place well. However, now that things had come to this, they needed a Star Origin Master. Otherwise, this place would easily descend into chaos. Soon, the news that the previous Star Origin Master was from the Green Demon race spread, shocking all the cultivators in the Star Origin domain. No one had expected the Master of Star Origin, who had treated them so well, to be a member of the Green Devil race. At first, some people thought that it was a lie. However, with so many Star Venerates testifying, it was different. After carefully studying the martial arts provided by the Origin Star Lord, he discovered that this martial art was not a simple martial art, but a martial art of the Green Demon race. After learning it, it would be easier for him to control the Green Demon race. Under such circumstances, it was like a huge bomb had exploded beside many cultivators. This could be said to be earth-shattering news. The Master of Star Origin, who had always been revered by tens of thousands of people, had originally planned to use them. The one who developed this martial art was none other than Yi Tianyun. Under his analysis, he completely dismantled the martial arts and then linked them to the martial arts of the Green Demon race. Then, he would know which martial arts had been modified. It had to be said that the Origin Star Lord was truly sinister. He planned to control everyone. He seemed to be kind, but he was actually vicious and merciless. With so much shocking information thrown at them, everyone's favorable impression of the Master of Star Origin immediately fell to the freezing point. Under such circumstances, Yi Tianyun appeared out of nowhere and said that he would be the one to kill the Master of Star Origin. Only then would they know that the Master of Star Origin was a member of the Green Demon race. After a series of preparations, Yi Tianyun became the Master of Star Origin very smoothly. A group of people even welcomed him to take the position. Different orders brought about different effects. If Yi Tianyun was directly announced as the master of star origin, there would definitely be a lot of resistance. However, things were different now. After tarnishing the reputation of the original master of star origin, Yi Tianyun took the position and helped to kill the master of star origin. The effect was completely different. This was equivalent to saving them from disaster. There was almost no resistance. On the contrary, people welcomed Yi Tianyun to take the position. Of course, this was just the beginning. After Yi Tianyun took the position, he immediately started distributing all kinds of martial techniques. They were all star sector level martial techniques, and there were even more of them. There were as many as 3 of them. They were much more generous than what the master of star origin had done. Yi Tianyun had just taken the position, and he immediately started giving benefits. This was something that people would definitely welcome. Even if there had been some resistance, there was no resistance now. Yi Tianyun had a lot of star sector level martial techniques. He had killed many star venerates and even several star venerates. He had found many treasures in their astral rings. Hence, it was very easy for him to casually take out a few martial techniques. As for the others, such as the selections, the rewards were increased by several times to stimulate more newcomers to join. It was very easy to stabilize a faction. One just had to give enough benefits. As long as one gave enough benefits, there would not be much resistance. After all, everything was based on benefits. If there was a conflict of interest, they would resist. If there was no conflict of interest and he gave them benefits, they would support it. Of course, the main reason was that the master of star origin was a green demon. The influence he brought was too great. Hence, it was like everyone kicking a man when he was down. This made it very easy for Yi Tianyun to take the position. If the master of star origin had not caused any trouble, Yi Tianyun would not have been able to get rid of the resistance easily. After all, loyalty was not something that could be dismissed with just some benefits. Next, Xiao Chen had to take control of all the information here and understand everything. I can't split myself up. I can't just keep staying here. It won't work if I let Xueyun and the others manage it. Yi Tianyun shook his head. It was impossible to let Xueyun and the others manage it. The many star venerates would only acknowledge him. They would not approve of anyone else managing it. Therefore, it was unlikely that he would be able to leave for a long time. After all, this place could not be without a leader. Sometimes, one needed to stay for a while. Never mind. I'll check the spoils of war first. Yi Tianyun checked the master of star origin's astral ring. With his power, he could easily remove the imprint and check the contents of the astral ring. After casually looking through it, Xiao Chen opened his eyes wide and said, "Jade Soul Stone." He found the Jade Soul Stone in the master of star origin's astral ring. He had only casually looked through it. He had not expected to find the Jade Soul Stone. I didn't expect to find the Jade Soul Stone here. This way, I can refine a clone. With the clone's control, won't I be able to easily manage this place? Chapter 2044. This is really a pleasant surprise. Yi Tianyun started to refine a clone right away. He took out the energy nascent soul again. The small nascent soul floated above his palm, emitting a surging energy. This was a top-notch special treasure, which was equal to an extra life. How could it not be tempting? Then he took out the 9-cycle stargrass and the jade soulstone right away and started to refine it. It was actually quite easy to refine it. He just needed to throw all of them into his body and refine them. He didn't need any forging techniques. He just needed to fuse them with his body. Then he threw all the materials into his inner world and started to refine them. After throwing the 3 materials into his body, the Jade Soulstone and the 9-cycle stargrass started to flow into the energy nascent soul. After the fusion, the energy nascent soul started to melt. It turned into liquid energy and flowed into Yi Tianyun's limbs. Everything felt like there was a warm current flowing through his body. Soon, the liquid flowed all over his body, including his soul. Then he felt a tearing pain in his soul. The tearing of the soul was not a good feeling. Yi Tianyun turned pale. The tearing pain of the soul was quite unbearable. Especially when the soul was split in two, The pain was even more shocking. However, Yi Tianyun didn't say anything, as if it wasn't his soul that was being torn. Soon, his soul was torn in two. At the same time, a gust of energy flowed out of his body and took shape quickly. Soon, a black-clothed Yi Tianyun appeared next to him. Both his appearance and aura were exactly the same as Yi Tianyun's. Even his cultivation was still in the early stage of the star venerable realm. The most monstrous thing about an energy-nascent soul was that it could copy everything, including a powerful cultivation base. This meant that there would be another star venerable soon. How could star venerable Jade Divinity not take the risk? However, the tearing of the soul would take some time to recover. Anyway, it was a tearing of the soul. Although the two were still one, it was still a kind of injury. When he recovered, Yi Tianyun would have a complete soul again. And it wasn't just one soul, but two complete souls. That was why it was said that he had an extra life, a full 2 lives. Is that enough? Yi Tianyun took a deep breath and looked at himself beside him with a smile. At the same time, the other party smiled. Everything was under his control. I have the power of 2-star venerables. As long as there isn't a super expert, can anyone obstruct me? Yi Tianyun looked at his clone, which also had a unique star dharma. However, there was one thing he didn't have, and that was the system. Although the system had copied everything over to Zhongxian, the system was unable to copy everything over to Zhongxian. It could only copy things that were unique to Zhongxian. But even if there wasn't, that wasn't the main point. In any case, it was enough that his clone also had a powerful and unique star dharma idol. Very good. This time, I don't have to worry about being unable to split myself. Yi Tianyun smiled as he shook his head. Soon after, he began to meditate and recover. He had just created his doppelganger, so naturally, he had expended a lot of energy. Most of it was on his soul, so he needed to rest. When his main body and his clone sat down to recover, Yi Tianyun immediately felt the double recovery effect. Especially when he was close to them, he could clearly feel that his recovery speed had become stronger. Maybe it was because they were close to each other that the double recovery effect was brought about. This made Yi Tianyun feel pleasantly surprised. No wonder so many people were fighting over this treasure. It seemed like he hadn't suffered a loss. While he was recovering, he suddenly felt a vibration coming from his star ring. He quickly took out the token from his star ring. He found that the token given to him by the 5-colored holy race had started to buzz crazily. This meant that the 5-colored holy race was in trouble and was asking for his help. Something happened to the 5-colored holy race so quickly. Yi Tianyun frowned. The clan master had said that there wouldn't be any problems for the time being. He hadn't expected that something like this would still happen. He immediately thought of the Master of Star Origin situation and guessed, could it be that this happened because the Master of Star Origin died? He didn't think that everything was airtight. Perhaps it was the Master of Star Origin's death that caused the Green Demon race to go crazy. After all, if they didn't go crazy, there wouldn't be a chance. No matter what the situation was, Yi Tianyun's figure flashed and disappeared on the spot. Even his doppelganger had disappeared along with him. Yi Tianyun didn't go alone. Instead, he took his clone with him. There was nothing to do here for the time being, so it wasn't a problem for him to leave for the time being. Especially when dealing with the Green Demon race, he was afraid that he would encounter a strong enemy. Bringing an extra clone was equivalent to having another powerful trump card. It had to be said that it felt good to have a clone again. This way, he would have another powerful trump card. He had clones in the lower realm before, but those were all fake. This was the real one. In the blink of an eye, Yi Tianyun was teleported to the 5-element mountain area. He had marked the teleportation location long ago. He didn't know how long it would take for him to fly over. It was a good thing to be able to race against time. As he passed through the secret passageway, he entered the interior of the 5-element mountain. When he entered through the transmission array, the outside was empty. There was no one there. He immediately had a bad premonition and quickened his footsteps. After passing through the main hall of the temple, he discovered that there was not a single person here. Under normal circumstances, in times of emergency, some of the weaker clansmen would be sent here in order to preserve the new power. But now, no one was here. The key was that there weren't even any guards. There were still guards before. Could something serious have happened? Yi Tianyun's gaze darkened, and he quickly rushed out. When he rushed out, he was completely stunned. In front of him was not the 5-colored god races area, but an empty space. The entire 5-colored god races area had disappeared. In this small world, there was only this temple left. The small world was originally so big, but there was not a single person, not even a house. Was it moved away? Yi Tianyun looked around, and upon closer inspection, he discovered that there were traces of cutting, as if it had been ruthlessly dug away. There were no traces of battle here, only traces of energy fluctuations. Chapter 2045. Yi Tianyun didn't stay for long and quickly headed to the outside area. After walking out of this small world, what greeted his eyes was naturally the familiar scene. The outside was surrounded by multicolored stones, and a steady stream of energy was coming in to seal off the escape of the green demon race. He looked up and saw a huge green light barrier in the area in front of him. From the outside, it was blurry and he couldn't see anything clearly. When he saw the green demon race surrounding it and constantly releasing green energy, he knew that the multicolored god race must be trapped inside. As far as the eye could see, there were at least 1,000 green demon race members densely packed together, and all of them were at the level of Master Xing. Master Xing was like a common street here, covering such a vast area. Compared to the green demon race, the multicolored god race was really too shabby. They weren't even on the same level. There were too few experts in the multicolored god race. In this situation, they still chose to seal the green demon race. They were truly courageous. Now, the problem was obvious. The powerful green demon race easily surrounded the multicolored god race, easily sealing off their escape route. It seems that the green demon race really has a lot of experts. This part shouldn't be all out. Yi Tianyun looked at the green demon race. Although there were a lot of them, he felt that not all of them were out. He didn't think too much about it and directly flew to the area where the multicolored god race was trapped. At the same time, inside the green light barrier, the multicolored god race clansmen were trapped. They were surrounded by a large number of green demon race members, sealing off the surrounding area. There was almost no way for them to escape. It's time to end this. Hand over the key and I will spare your life. The leader was the green demon star Venerable. A powerful aura enveloped the surroundings, and behind him was the green demon god star image. After forming a perfect combination, his aura was not inferior to that of the Master of Star Origin. In particular, this green demon star Venerable's cultivation was only at the early stage. His aura here was comparable to that of the Master of Star Origin. Hand over the key. Do you think that's possible? Patriarch Ji sneered, not the slightest bit afraid. None of the clansmen behind him revealed any fear. From the moment they became the protectors of this place, this kind of situation could happen, so they were not afraid. Whether it was Cai Shui or Cai Yun, they didn't show the slightest bit of timidity. They even stood at the front with an expression of facing death calmly. The rest of the elders were prepared to fight to the death. As for handing over the key, that was impossible. You really are loyal dogs. The person who saved you has yet to appear. Is it worth it to sacrifice yourself for him? Perhaps he did save you, but if he sends you to your deaths now, what's the difference between that and not saving you at all? Evildor, don't try to mislead us with your lies. Sir is not someone you can slander. No matter what the result is, we will accept it. Patriarch Ji sneered, if you want to fight, then fight, don't be so long-winded. There were many green demons around them. There were 5 Star Lords, and one of them was a Star Venerable. This was equivalent to sending out half of the Star Source Domain's experts. It had to be said that the tiny green demon race possessed such a powerful force. How did he cultivate to be able to cultivate so many experts? You really won't come to your senses. If you keep killing, the 5-colored holy race won't have anyone left. Green Demon Star Venerable glanced at the 5-color divine race. The current 5-color divine race had fewer people than the 5-color divine race that Yi Tianyun had saved before. These people were the ones who had been sacrificed. They were all elders or deacons. At least 100 people had died, which wasn't a large number. However, the five-colored holy race didn't have many people to begin with. Patriarch Ji and the others had been forced to ask for Yi Tianyun's help in the end. Otherwise, they wouldn't have bothered Yi Tianyun to come over. Now that they saw a star venerable, they hoped Yi Tianyun wouldn't come over. Yi Tianyun was strong enough to deal with star lords, but he wouldn't be able to deal with a star venerable. Big brother, I hope you won't come over to save us. The green demon star venerable is too strong. Cai Shuai put her palms together. She hoped Yi Tianyun wouldn't come over. I hope so. Cai Yun sighed deeply. She couldn't get rid of Yi Tianyun's figure in her mind. Every time she thought about it, she felt tempted. But at the moment, she didn't want to see that figure appear. She was looking forward to it, but she also didn't want it to appear. It was quite contradictory. After all, there were so many strong people. If only Yi Tianyun showed up, what would be the point? Patriarch Ji took a deep breath. His eyes were full of fighting spirit. Kill. Patriarch Ji spat out one word. All of the Green Demon Star Venerable's clansmen jumped up instantly. They picked up their weapons and got ready to fight. Patriarch Ji took the lead and charged toward the Green Demon Star Venerable. Even if his power was so weak in front of a Star Venerable, he wouldn't choose to retreat at the last moment. They would rather die standing than live kneeling. You're really stubborn. Go to hell. The Green Demon Star Venerable's eyes were cold. I don't believe that I can't find the key to unlock it. The key to unlock it was obviously not the passage to the Divine Temple. They could also get out of that passage. What they needed to do was unlock the lair. The passage that connected it to this place was the biggest difficulty. Boom, boom, boom. At this moment, a gigantic figure stomped down on the green light shield, causing it to explode. The green light shield that was initially trapping them disappeared into thin air just like that. What appeared was a huge six-colored emperor dragon, which towered over everyone. It's Big Brother. Cai Shuai exclaimed. Such a familiar aura. Who else could it belong to besides Yi Tianyun? You're just a bunch of trash. How dare you be so presumptuous? It was Yi Tianyun who appeared. The huge figure crushed the light shield with one foot and crushed all the star venerables outside. It wasn't over yet. The huge figure continued pressing down. Wherever it landed, a large number of green demon star venerables were crushed, including several star venerables. The strong star venerate was like an ant, exploding with one stomp. The green demon star venerable's eyes narrowed. He said in shock, "Who is this?" Yi Tianyun didn't answer him. He continued sweeping the green demon star venerable around him in half. A large number of green demon star venerables died and turned into piles of star energy that flowed into his body. How dare you ignore me? No matter who you are, this is not a place where you can be presumptuous. The green demon star venerable's power erupted. The green demon god's star Dharma Laksana rose, and the star power of 16 directions gushed out from the top of his head. The power of a star venerable descended. The faces of the five-colored divine race turned pale, and they hurriedly shouted, "Sir, run. This is a star venerable." Cai Yun shouted, indicating for Yi Tianyun to run. Star venerables didn't have any resistance. Chapter 2046. The clansmen of the five-colored holy race did not know that Yi Tianyun had already become a star venerable. They only knew he was a powerful star lord. It was not surprising that such a powerful star lord could crush other star lords. Yi Tianyun had already achieved this. As for him becoming a star venerable, they had never thought about it. After all, it was too difficult to become a star venerable. They wanted Yi Tianyun to run away, but Yi Tianyun did not take the green demon star venerable seriously. Although he was a star venerable, he was not a stable star venerable. He was just a weak star venerable. He wanted to break through to star venerable by force. This kind of star venerable was also a star venerable, but he was much weaker than a normal star venerable. Of course, he was much stronger than a normal star lord. If all star lords were given a chance to break through to star venerable, and it was said that they would be weaker than a normal star venerable, they would all try their best to break through. After all, it was too difficult to break through to star venerable. It was not easy to break through. So, It would be great if they could break through. There was no need to worry about what would happen next. As long as they broke through to Star Venerable, they would be more powerful than billions of people. They would be stronger than most Star Lords. What would they worry about? However, this was even more disdainful for Yi Tianyun. He was too weak. He was much weaker than the Star Venerables he had to deal with. He was not even a Star Venerable in the middle stage. He was equal to a powerful Star Lord. So, it was a joke to ask him to run away. He could even fight a Star Venerable in the late stage, let alone such a trash Star Venerable. He broke through to Star Venerable by force without even a two-layered Star Dharma. He is really a fake Star Venerable. Yi Tianyun shook his head. To break through to Star Venerable, he had to have a two-layered Star Dharma. The Green Demon Star Venerable in front of him only had a one-layered Star Dharma, so its power was much weaker. Shameless boasting. A trifling human dares to get involved. You really overestimate yourself. Green Demon Star Venerable snorted coldly. He was completely unaware that he was trash in Yi Tianyun's eyes. The Green Demon Star Venerate, who had transformed into a Green Demon God, wielded a powerful force and pressed down on Yi Tianyun. The terrifying power made Ji family leader and the others pale. At this point, it was too late for them to stop Yi Tianyun from escaping. They could only watch as Yi Tianyun was suppressed. All right, stop being so long-winded. Go and accompany your clansman. Yi Tianyun couldn't be bothered to waste his breath on him. With a stomp, an even more berserk force descended, plunging the entire area into darkness. A feeling of helplessness welled up in Green Devil Star Venerate's heart, as well as fear. Star Venerable. He could clearly feel Yi Tianyun's powerful Star Venerable power, especially the 20 cubic meters of star power hanging high in the air, which was enough to shock him. When the clansmen of the five-colored holy race sensed Yi Tianyun's powerful aura, they were all dumbfounded. Yi Tianyun had managed to break through to the Star Venerable realm in such a short time. Yi Tianyun had managed to break through to the Star Venerable realm, which was out of reach. And he was much stronger than the Green Demon Star Venerate in front of them. Dong. Before long, the Green Demon Star Venerate was crushed by Yi Tianyun's stomp. His opponent's attack was completely useless. It wasn't even comparable to Yi Tianyun's stomp. He didn't need any special moves to deal with his enemy. All he needed was a stomp. His opponent was too weak. He couldn't even exert a slightly stronger power. The other side's Star Venerate was killed, which scared many green demons into fleeing. Their strongest being had been killed. What was the point of staying here? Especially the Star Lords who hadn't been killed, they used their Star Dharma Laksana to escape as fast as they could. They didn't want to die here in vain. They weren't afraid of death, but facing a difficult enemy, they still chose to escape. It wasn't a wise choice to throw away their lives. But Yi Tianyun wouldn't give them the chance to escape. There were so many fat sheep around. How could he let them escape? All of you, stay here. Yi Tianyun looked up to the sky and let out a dragon roar. He took a heavy step forward and unleashed the wrath of War God. The void was directly crushed by him, and the power was compressed to the extreme. Everything that it touched was quickly annihilated, and there was no chance to resist. With just one step, most of the green demons were crushed into nothingness. Even if the remaining few didn't die, they were half disabled. The rest of the green demons could be easily dealt with by the five-colored holy race. He didn't even need to do anything. Soon, all the green demons were dealt with by them. Yi Tianyun killed most of them. His contribution was the most obvious. Clan leader Ji, I came late and caused you to suffer losses. You should have asked for reinforcements earlier. If I had come earlier, the losses wouldn't have been so great. Yi Tianyun could tell at a glance that the five-colored holy race had lost a small number of people. The five-colored holy race didn't have many people, so it was normal that he could tell at a glance. That's not true. If you hadn't come, we would have all died here. Clan leader Ji quickly waved his hand and said, we were forced to ask for your help. After all, we were facing so many strong people. Asking for your help was equivalent to putting you in danger. If you hadn't broken through to the Star Venerable realm, even you would have died here. What's more, you're really too fast. We've only sent out the message not long ago, And you've already arrived. I even wondered if you happened to be nearby. You came here so quickly. Clan leader Ji and the others wouldn't mind Yi Tianyun's late arrival. They were already very grateful that he had saved them. Especially since Yi Tianyun's speed was so shocking. He had arrived not long after the message was sent. I was indeed nearby. I just happened to sense your call for help, so I came over. Yi Tianyun lied. If he said he had come from the star origin field, he would have scared them. That's really a coincidence. If you had come a bit later, we would have died here. Clan leader Ji smiled bitterly. The five-colored holy race had been destroyed by him. How could he face his ancestors? It's just fate that you won't die. Yi Tianyun changed the topic and said seriously, speaking of which, what's going on? Didn't you say last time that they could rest for a while? It hasn't been that long, and they've come again. I'm not too sure about that. All of a sudden, they charged over and used their great power to move our small world. This is the power of star venerables. We couldn't even resist them. Clan leader Ji didn't know what was going on. When they came back to themselves, they were already in trouble. I see. But we won't be afraid anymore, Yi Tianyun said with a smile. Why? Clan leader Ji asked. Because I plan to go directly to the lair of the green demons and eliminate them. Yi Tianyun's eyes lit up. Chapter 2047. Clan Chief Ji and the others had thought of exterminating the green demon race before, but they had never done so. It was not that they did not want to, but that they could not do so. The difference between the two was too great. It would be pretty good if they could defend, not to mention exterminating the green demon race. Exterminating the green demon race was something they had always wanted to do. However, they had never thought of doing so immediately. Hence, they were startled by Yi Tianyun's words. My lord, you mean to exterminate the green demon race immediately? Clan Chief Ji stuttered. Although Yi Tianyun's cultivation was pretty good, wouldn't it be too difficult to act immediately? Yes. If we do not exterminate the green demon race, you will never have peace. Yi Tianyun looked at them with a resolute gaze. That's why I intend to exterminate the green demon race. You do not need to do anything. I will do it. Xiao Chen did not expect the five-colored holy race to help. It would be good enough if they could guard outside. There was no need for them to enter the nest with him. After all, with their strength, they would not be able to help at all. Clan Chief Ji could help. He was a star venerate, and a strong one at that. However, if Clan Chief Ji went with them, he would not be able to help the five-colored holy race if anything happened. In the entire five-colored holy race, only Clan Chief Ji was a star venerate. The others were not. However, there were a few who were preparing to break through to star venerate. No matter what, they were not star venerates. You cannot do that. The nest of the green demon race is extremely dangerous. It is like another world with countless green demons. If not for this seal, they would have charged out long ago. My lord, if you go, you might get trapped inside. Clan Chief Ji started to address Yi Tianyun respectfully. Since Yi Tianyun's cultivation was higher than his, he naturally needed to address him respectfully. It is not that I do not trust your strength. It is just that it is easy for you to get trapped inside alone. It was not just Clan Chief Ji. The other clansmen also started to advise Yi Tianyun not to be so rash. Although he was grateful for Yi Tianyun's help, sending him to his death was something he could never do. Yi Tianyun nodded and said, "It's dangerous to go deeper, but this is the only thing we can do right now. I feel confident that we can deal with them. In the worst-case scenario, he would still be able to escape. This seal should only target the Green Demon clan, right? Don't tell me it's targeting me as well. That's more or less the same. I'm indeed targeting all of them, but as long as I control them, I can easily get you out. However, I still suggest that you don't go in. It's too dangerous inside. As soon as you go in, you'll be recognized immediately. At that time, you'll definitely be attacked by a group of people." Patriarch Ji was still trying to persuade Yi Tianyun not to enter such a dangerous area. "Don't worry, I know what I'm doing." Yi Tianyun looked at them and smiled. "There's no need to say anything else. Just help me open the seal." With Yi Tianyun's insistence, Patriarch Ji could only sigh and nod. Big brother, do you really want to go to such a dangerous place? Cai Shui and the others walked over. Yi Tianyun reached out and rubbed Cai Shui's small head. He smiled and said, yes, I have to investigate the situation. I still have a score to settle with the Green Demon clan. He still had not settled the score with the Master of Star Origin. It wasn't that he had to destroy the Master of Star Origin, but he had to destroy the entire Green Demon clan. Moreover, the main mission had already been released. How could he not do it? Immediately, Patriarch Ji personally led Yi Tianyun to the sealed area. The rest of the clansmen stayed here to clean up the situation. Under Patriarch Ji's lead, they quickly arrived at the sealed area. This place was surrounded by 10 towering pillars made of 5-colored divine stones. In the center of the pillars, there was a huge door of light. 5-colored light continuously shone from all directions, enveloping this door. This seal isn't very stable. Yi Tianyun sized it up and realized the situation wasn't very stable. No wonder the green demons kept coming out. They could still escape when the seal was weak. Yes, this seal has been here for many years. If it goes on like this, the seal will be destroyed sooner or later. We have been constantly repairing it, but we still can't resist the green demon's destruction. There are too many of them. Patriarch Ji shook his head and said, it would be great if that lord could come back. But we haven't received any news from him. If that lord came back, he would be able to suppress the green demons easily. But it would be difficult to completely destroy them. If they could have destroyed them before, they would have done so long ago. Yi Tianyun nodded. As his cultivation got stronger, he could better sense the situation here. This wasn't something an ordinary star venerable could do. Only someone with a higher cultivation could do it. Even an almighty with such a powerful cultivation couldn't eliminate the green demons completely. This proved that the green demons weren't weak. Either the green demons are too powerful and can't be eliminated in one go, or they didn't eliminate the green demons on purpose and left a group of them behind. Of course, it's possible that they're at their limit and can't be eliminated. If even that almighty can't eliminate the green demons, how can I eliminate them? Yi Tianyun shook his head. If that was the case, he wouldn't be able to deal with them at all. If even such an almighty couldn't deal with them, how could he deal with them with his current cultivation? I'll go down to check out the situation. I won't throw my life away, Yi Tianyun said with a smile. Patriarch Ji nodded and said, then I'll stay here. If you come up, I'll sense it immediately and let you pass. If no one was controlling it, it was impossible to open the seal. Okay, I'll go down now. I'll have to trouble you later, Yi Tianyun said with a smile. Patriarch Ji said seriously, you can go down now. If you go in, you don't need to open the seal. Please be careful. He didn't have a good attitude like Yi Tianyun, and he was worried about Yi Tianyun's safety. Yi Tianyun didn't say anything. He jumped into the seal and disappeared. When he passed through the seal easily, he felt a strong life force surging up from below. It filled his whole body and opened all his pores. He felt very comfortable. However, compared to this matter, he immediately equipped the Green Demon God Star aspect and released it at the same time. Enveloped by the Star Dharma idol, his body exuded the aura of the green demons. Even the surface of his body was slightly green. Chapter 2048. After passing through the thick seal, the first thing that came into Yi Tianyun's eyes were the giant trees that covered the mountains and plains. These towering trees were much larger than those outside. The main reason was that these giant trees were releasing a rich life force, which made people feel very comfortable. Who wouldn't like a rich life force? However, those who lived here were the disgusting green demons. The green demons were mainly of the wood attribute, and they liked to live in such a place. It wasn't surprising that they had such a rich life force. As soon as he came in, he saw the green demons attacking the seal in the sky. Wave after wave of green demons kept attacking the area suppressed by the 10 stone pillars. Every time they attacked fiercely, the light emitted by the stone pillars would become slightly dimmer. His entrance attracted the attention of the green demons. However, they just glanced at Yi Tianyun casually. Except for a bit of curiosity, they didn't pay any attention to him. They could all feel a familiar aura from Yi Tianyun. He looked like a human, but the green demons had also bred with the human race. So, as long as he had a familiar aura, it couldn't be wrong. This was also the reason why Yi Tianyun had dared to come in so boldly. If other races came in, all the green demons above would definitely attack them. All the green demons here were at least at the level of Master Xing. Master Xing's level was like cabbages in this place. There were piles of them, and it scared him. It was this group of green demons that were attacking the seal. There were at least several thousand of them. If they all escaped, it would be a nightmare. Why did you come down from above? Although most people didn't pay attention to him, there were still some patrol envoys who noticed Yi Tianyun. It wasn't strange for him to go up from here, but it was strange for him to come down from above. The clansmen we sent out were all killed. A star venerable from the five-colored divine clan came out of nowhere and killed all of our people. Yi Tianyun had a frightened look on his face. His whole body was shivering. His acting skills were off the charts. What? The people we sent out are all dead? The Green Demon Patrol envoy was shocked. How long had it been? They were determined to win, but they didn't expect that not long after, the people they sent out would all die. Yes, only a small number of them survived. I came back to report. Yi Tianyun revealed a worried look and said, "Sir, you won't blame me, right? I came back to report the news." "I know, there's nothing to blame you for. If you didn't report back, we wouldn't have known what was going on outside." The Green Demon Inspector waved his hand in annoyance, indicating for Yi Tianyun to leave. "Thank you, my lord." Yi Tianyun quickly left the place and didn't stay for long. "That's right, there are still some things I haven't asked you." When the Green Demon Inspector turned his head and wanted to continue asking, he realized that Yi Tianyun had already disappeared. He scratched his head in confusion. How did this brat run so fast? He disappeared in the blink of an eye. The Green Demon Inspector didn't think too much and went to report the news. When the news spread, the Green Demon race was immediately infuriated. They didn't expect that after spending so much effort to send out so many experts, they would all die outside. "Continue to speed up the destruction. We don't believe that these fellows can last for long." The patrol envoys below continued to urge the Green Demon Star Masters to speed up the destruction of the seal. From the beginning, they didn't stop the destruction. At this time, Yi Tianyun had already slipped away to another place to prevent his identity from being seen through. He didn't want to cause a conflict here. No matter what, he had to first investigate the situation here before casually causing trouble. From the beginning, he would crush them all. If he encountered a strong enemy and was forced to retreat, it would be a huge loss. Right now, the most important thing was to investigate the situation clearly and make the next plan. He directly hid in the forest and concealed his aura. As long as he didn't want others to discover him, it would be difficult for others to discover him. Unless their cultivation was as strong as his, it would be difficult to detect him. This place is really vast. It's not at the level of a small world at all. It should be another world's region. Yi Tianyun used his spiritual awareness to explore the surroundings. With his star venerable spiritual awareness, he could easily cover a large area. For example, the small world of the five-colored holy race could easily cover any corner. But here, he couldn't cover the whole area. He could only cover a small area, which meant this place was very vast. In the area he covered, he could clearly detect that there were many cities, and there were many green demons in them. This was an ordinary domain world, which was on the same level as the burning desolate realm or the star source field. The difference was that there were only green demons here, and no other races existed. However, green demons mixed with other races' bloodlines were more common. But in terms of numbers, there were very few of them, and they were basically rejected. When he came down, he could clearly see the disgust in the Green Demon Inspector's eyes. It seemed like they would reject green demons who didn't have purebred bloodlines, and their status was basically the lowest. Of course, it didn't matter. The important thing was that this was a domain world. Before he came down, he thought it was on the same level as a small world, but it seemed he was wrong. "Isn't this world connected to other worlds?" Yi Tianyun frowned. Maybe there was something wrong. Then he quickly went to a city, where green demons came and went, carrying out their usual transactions. Their living conditions weren't strange, and they were no different from the practitioners outside. They traded what they needed to trade, selling divine medicines, elixirs, and so on. But the most important thing was that they hadn't awakened the star Dharma aspect. Even some star masters hadn't awakened the star Dharma aspect, so it seemed they were really sealed. So far, he had only seen star lords with star Dharma aspects, and he had never seen anyone lower than this level. Hurry up, or we won't make it in time. The star lords are going to awaken the star Dharma aspect. Okay, I'm in a hurry, aren't I? If we're late, we won't be able to see it, and we won't have a chance to comprehend it. Do you understand? I understand, I understand. I'll go now. The green demons on the side were packing up their stalls, preparing to leave. Chapter 2049. After asking around, Yi Tianyun quickly rushed to the city where the green demon star lords were awakening, Star Brilliant City. Star Brilliant City was not far from here. It was near the city he had just arrived at. Along the way, he asked around and learned some general information. Star Brilliant City was the awakening city. All the green demons who wanted to awaken completed their awakening here. As for why this place was designated as the awakening city, he was not too sure. After all, those who were born here would know the details. If he suddenly asked others, they would definitely doubt him. Of course, he could search their souls. If he did that, he could easily find out a lot of information. However, compared to searching their souls, he decided to go directly to Star Brilliant City and take a look. He would know what was going on when he got there. No matter what, it was better to see everything with his own eyes. Soon, he arrived at Star Brilliant City. Coincidentally, this area was not in the area he had covered before, so he did not find out what was going on here. The key was that Star Brilliant City was a little strange. There was a thick red cloud above his head, and a thick smell of blood drifted from Star Brilliant City. This gave him a bad premonition, and it was a very bad premonition. When he followed the green demons into Star Brilliant City, the situation inside was no different. There were still green demons coming and going, and most of them were there to watch the Star Lords awaken. Although they were not the ones awakening, it was like watching someone else break through, and it could still help him. Who knew when it would be his turn? Yi Tianyun followed the crowd to the front, and as he got closer and closer, he soon saw a huge pit in front of him. There was a huge pit in the center of Star Brilliant City. This was something Yi Tianyun did not expect. However, when he got closer, his pupils shrank. What he saw was a huge pit of blood. Blood kept coming out from the ground and began to fill up the pit bit by bit. Many green demon clansmen cheered excitedly on the side, feeling very excited. Their eyes were red, and they all wanted to jump in and swim in the blood pool. Blood pool, is this blood pool the key to their awakening? Yi Tianyun's eyes narrowed, and his spiritual sense quickly probed the depths of the blood pool. As soon as he entered the blood pool, he felt as if he had sunk into a quagmire. It was difficult for him to move even an inch. Soon after, his spiritual sense quickly condensed into a needle and fiercely pierced into the ground. He wanted to clearly investigate the situation at the bottom. As expected, after turning into a thin needle, it quickly pierced through the quagmire-like blood pool. After reaching the bottom, they arrived at the bottommost region of the blood pool. At the bottom of the blood pool, there were countless corpses, and blood flowed out continuously. There was a giant tree here that absorbed the blood of these corpses and condensed it in the trunk. Finally, through the countless roots, it was transported to the blood pool above. The corpses piled up here were all cultivators from various clans. No matter what race they were all piled up to the brim. In terms of quantity, Xingyaro City's underground had basically been emptied. The hollowed-out parts were filled with corpses. It was unknown how many corpses there were, but there were at least 100 million of them. So cruel. I'm afraid that all the cultivators in this world were captured and brought here. Yi Tianyun thought. He was sure that the cultivators were not captured from the outside world, but from somewhere around here. This meant that there were still other races in this world. It was just that the green demon race was too powerful. The other races were like beasts that they could capture and absorb as they pleased. This was the best proof. They had captured and killed all of them and piled them up here to provide blood. It had to be said that the green demon race was really ruthless. Although survival of the fittest was a survival of the fittest, the green demon race was indiscriminately ruthless. As long as the green demon race existed, there would not be a day of peace. This was just like the evil spirit race in the past. They constantly devoured the bodies of foreign races, and their ruthlessness was similar to that of the green demon race. The green demon race specialized in extracting the essence and blood of others for absorption. The corpses would be thrown aside until they completely weathered away. So this is the method of awakening the Star Lord's star aspect. Because this place was shielded, they could not sense the power of the star aspect from here, so they could not awaken it. Under the shielding of the Almighty, they could not make a comeback. Hence, they could only absorb the blood of other races to awaken the star aspect. Although it had not started, Xiao Chen already had a rough idea of what was going on. Indeed, several star venerates soon appeared in his line of sight. There was a total of 6. All of them had just broken through to the star venerate level not long ago. They were all incredibly excited. When they thought about how they could awaken the star aspect, it was hard for them not to be excited. Following that, one of the star venerates flew to the center of the blood pool. After he landed, he started to frantically absorb the blood. The blood under his feet turned into a tornado that surged towards the star venerate. Soon, the green demon star venerate absorbed it. As the green demon star venerate frantically absorbed the blood, the thick red clouds above started to slowly open a channel. Soon, the power of the stars appeared above. By using the blood of other races, the green demon star venerate could forcefully break free of the curse and activate the power of the stars. Now, Yi Tianyun knew what was going on. No wonder one needed to be a star venerate or above to obtain the star aspect. If one wanted to control so much blood, they would need to have great control to be able to control it perfectly. If one's cultivation was lower than that, it would be hard to control the blood. On the contrary, one might even explode. Unless one was the heaven-defying Grandmaster Xing, one would simply be seeking death by acting recklessly. Soon, after the green demon star venerate pierced through the power of the stars, the heavenly demon star aspect descended. It was still the same level of star aspect. Only this level of star aspect was more in line with the needs of the green devil race. It's still the heavenly demon star. Why not the green demon god star? The green demon star venerate shook his head and sighed in pity. The grade 5 star aspect was the heavenly demon star, and the grade 6 star aspect was the green demon god star. Yi Tianyun had obtained the green demon god star long ago. Since he killed the green demon divine son earlier, he naturally obtained the green demon god star. After this green demon star venerate awakened, it was soon the turn of the next green demon star venerate to draw the blood from the blood pool into his body. Without exception, the star aspect that awakened was the heavenly demon star. It looked like the difficulty of awakening the green demon god star was too high. Too many people found it hard to obtain the green demon god star. As the star venerates awakened, the amount of blood in the blood pool decreased. After all the green demon star venerates awakened, the amount of blood in the blood pool decreased. Chapter 2050. After all the green demon star venerates awakened, none of them had a grade 6 dharmic body. This was a pity. The many green demons at the side also felt it was a pity. If a grade 6 star venerate had appeared, they would definitely cheer. After it ended, the many green demons returned to where they came from. The awakening of the green demon star venerates ended here. There was nothing more to see. These green demons came quickly and left quickly. In an instant, the place became empty. No one stayed here. The star venerates also left to do their own things. Yi Tianyun's eyes flashed, and he quickly vanished. As the many star venerates scattered, a figure suddenly appeared before one of them. Before that star venerates could react, that figure was crushed into meat paste. After the star venerates exploded, that figure disappeared again, heading to another area. I finally obtained a dharmic body. I have to cultivate properly this time and try to break the seal. Once I leave this damned place, I will start a massacre outside and let the cultivators outside know how powerful we are. In that case, stay down there and wait for your companions to see how powerful you are. A ghostly voice rang out beside his ear. Before this green demon star venerate could react, he was flattened again. Everything happened so quickly and silently. Before this power, the strong star venerates were nothing. Naturally, the one who killed them was Yi Tianyun. When he saw these star venerates, he definitely would not let them off. This was especially so since they had split up. Killing them would be much easier. In the blink of an eye, he killed the 6 newly awakened star venerates. If the green demons knew about this, they would probably explode in anger. They had spent so much effort to nurture these star venerates, but they were all killed. Naturally, they suffered a huge loss. I've killed them all. What's left is below. Yi Tianyun's gaze turned cold. Next, he wanted to get rid of that huge tree. As long as he destroyed Star Brilliant City, it would not be easy for them to awaken. Soon, Yi Tianyun arrived at the bottom of Star Brilliant City. After frantically digging, he should have dug a hole in the hard ground. When he entered the space below, a fishy smell assaulted his nostrils, causing Yi Tianyun to frown. It wasn't that he felt disgusted, but that the green demon race was too disgusting. Everything was built on such a bloody foundation. It was very normal for people to die. Where there was war, there was bound to be death. Death wasn't scary. What was scary was this kind of indiscriminate killing. Especially when it involved sacrificing all lives for his own use. As long as they needed it, it was normal for them to sacrifice all lives. After coming in, it was far more shocking than when he was probing with his spiritual awareness above. What was visible to the naked eye was a mountain of corpses. Every corpse had a ferocious expression on their faces. Unwillingness and anger could be seen in their eyes, which were filled with everlasting regret. In the face of the powerful green demon race, they could only wait for death, unable to resist even if they wanted to. Without doing anything, they were captured and used as a blood sacrifice. This was the tragedy of being weak. Even if you didn't provoke anyone, you would still be caught if you stayed in the same area for the rest of your life. To the green demon race, not having strength was a sin. No one was spared, no one was spared. This kind of ruthlessness was truly shocking to the eyes. Blood sacrifice divine tree. What a good guy. Yi Tianyun's appraisal eye flashed. The huge towering divine tree in front of him was called Blood Sacrifice Divine Tree. Its cultivation was at the late stage of the Star Venerate level, and it was about to break through to the Star Venerate level. It kept absorbing essence blood, so it could benefit from it. Many a little makes a mickle, and its cultivation improved steadily. The effect of the Blood Sacrifice Divine Tree was very simple. It kept absorbing the essence blood from the corpses and then releasing it. It was that simple. It seemed simple, but it was actually quite difficult. The role of the Blood Sacrifice Divine Tree was to filter out all the energy that didn't suit the green demon race, so the essence blood obtained was very pure. Yi Tianyun looked at the Blood Sacrifice Divine Tree and sized it up. He had to admit that the Blood Sacrifice Divine Tree was actually a good thing. Not to mention absorbing essence blood, it could absorb a lot of worldly energy. However, the green demon race didn't use it to absorb worldly energy, but to absorb essence blood. Different uses also had different harms. This thing is really a treasure. It would be nice to take it away. Yi Tianyun's eyes lit up. It would be a waste to destroy the Blood Sacrifice Divine Tree directly. After all, the Blood Sacrifice Divine Tree was being used. It didn't do this voluntarily. He immediately flew to the side of the Blood Sacrifice Divine Tree, but as soon as he flew to its side, countless tree roots immediately wrapped around him, trying to tie him into a meat dumpling. As long as there was life, the Blood Sacrifice Divine Tree would absorb it and turn it into essence blood. Therefore, even if the green demons came in, they would be taken away and absorbed. You want to absorb my essence blood? You are too naive. Yi Tianyun opened his hand, which turned into a giant palm, and grabbed the Blood Sacrifice Divine Tree. Dong. The entire huge blood sacrificial tree was grabbed by the giant hand and dragged to the side, trying to pull it out of the ground. Squeak, squeak, squeak. The Blood Sacrifice Divine Tree screamed in an ear-piercing voice. If someone with a low cultivation had heard this scream, he would have bled from his facial orifices. Come out. Yi Tianyun dragged it hard, and a large part of the blood sacrifice divine tree was uprooted. However, this movement shook the entire Xingyao city. This situation immediately attracted everyone's attention. No one knew what was going on. Why was there such a violent vibration under their feet? What's going on? What's going on? The Green Demon Star King, who was in charge of the Xingyao city, stood up hurriedly and went to the passage that led directly to the blood sacrifice divine tree. The blood sacrifice divine tree was very important to them, and they couldn't afford to lose it. Yi Tianyun, who was below, pulled it hard again, and another large part of the blood sacrifice divine tree was uprooted. Rumble. The entire Xingyao city started to collapse. The ground had been hollowed out, so when the blood sacrifice divine tree was pulled away, it caused the ground to collapse. Yi Tianyun didn't care about what would happen to the Xingyao city. He continued to pull, and finally, the blood sacrifice divine tree was pulled away. As soon as he pulled it out, he stuffed it into his star ring. His figure flashed, and he disappeared. At the same time, the Xingyao city started to collapse. A large number of green demons fell in and were smashed into meat paste by all kinds of rocks. Coincidentally, a green demon star venerate arrived. However, all he saw was empty. There was nothing there. Chapter 2051. The blood sacrificial divine tree was a treasure of the green demon race. Furthermore, it was a very precious treasure. To cultivate a blood sacrificial divine tree, one had to pay a high price. In particular, if a Star Lord wanted to awaken it, he had to go through the blood sacrificial divine tree. If he did not go through the blood sacrificial divine tree, he could not awaken it. If he could not awaken it, there would be a huge difference in his strength, and he would not be able to use his power. The star dharmic aspect was too powerful. If he could not awaken it, his combat prowess would drop significantly. He would be trash. He would not even be comparable to ordinary cultivators. After all, ordinary cultivators could awaken the star dharmic aspect. With the support of the star dharmic aspect, his combat prowess would increase several-fold, even tenfold. Under such circumstances, what could he do? The blood sacrificial divine tree is gone. Who did this? The green devil star monarchs that ran down were all stunned. Like they had gone mad, they frantically searched their surroundings. They could not lose the blood sacrificial divine tree. If they lost it, the strength of the green demon race would drop significantly. They did not care about the fate of Xingyao city. Even though the city had collapsed severely, they did not care. Now, they mobilized everyone to search the surroundings to see if anyone was behaving strangely. After the blood sacrificial divine tree was forcefully dragged away, many areas of Xingyao city started to collapse. Some areas were not affected, but most of them were severely affected. They collapsed, and most of the green demons were either severely injured or killed. In particular, there happened to be a lot of green demons gathered here and hadn't left yet, so more green demons fell down. However, most of them were not affected. After all, their cultivations were not weak, so they would not die from being smashed by the rocks. The blood sacrificial divine tree is at least a late-stage star venerable. How could it be taken away so easily? Could it be a star venerable? How could a star venerable appear among those stupid beasts? A star venerable definitely would not appear among those beasts. How could it be so easy to break through to star venerable? Moreover, the restrictions are so strong. It is impossible for a group of beasts to break through. If it wasn't them, then who did it? How would I know? We can only continue searching. If the Lord finds out, we will be severely punished. The many green devil star venerates were stunned. There were as many as 3 star venerates in charge of Star Brilliance City. Unexpectedly, even under the care of 3 star venerates, the blood sacrifice divine tree still disappeared. The main reason was that they were too relaxed and thought that nothing would happen. Who knew that it would suddenly happen without any warning? They were relaxed because they were living too comfortably. This was their world, and the one who stole the blood sacrifice tree was definitely not the Green Demon clan. If it could be taken away by force, it would be either a star venerable or multiple star venerables. The key was what benefits the Green Demon clan had stolen. Originally, they could use the blood sacrifice tree at will, so stealing it was not necessarily a good thing. While the entire Xingyaro city was in a frenzy, Yi Tianyun had already teleported to another region and was leisurely moving about. Using the teleportation godstone, he could easily escape to another region. Although the teleportation godstone couldn't be used to return to the Five Elements Mountain, it wouldn't be a problem for the teleportation godstone to be used in the vicinity. The blood sacrifice divine tree is such a powerful thing. It would be a waste to kill it directly. Yi Tianyun was quite satisfied with the blood sacrifice divine tree. After he went back, he would refine it properly. At that time, the bloody smell of the blood sacrifice divine tree would be completely removed. After the blood sacrifice divine tree got rid of the bloody smell, it would be able to absorb the worldly essence, which would be very helpful to his cultivation. Of course, the effect would not be great for him. He would mainly use it to set up his faction and train more experts. Then, he went to Xingyaro City unhurriedly. This place was already in a mess. When Yi Tianyun arrived, no one paid attention to him. Instead, they looked around frantically for any strange person. Yi Tianyun's aura belonged to the Green Demon clan, so no one would suspect him. If they suspected the Green Demon clan, it would be very difficult to find him. There were so many green demons. How could they find him? It would be even more embarrassing if they tried to find the strong ones. It seems quite chaotic. Yi Tianyun walked in. When he saw most of Xingyaro City had been turned into ruins, he felt quite pleased. Especially when he saw that there were still a lot of green demons lying in the deep pit, he felt extremely refreshed. It was a pity that only a few of them were injured. It would be perfect if he could kill them all. But he couldn't do that now. There were so many spies here. If he did that, he would definitely expose himself. What's going on? A voice came from the sky, which seemed to be a heavy blow to the hearts of many green demons. As soon as Yi Tianyun looked up, he saw a powerful green demon star venerable appearing in midair. This was a high-level green demon star venerable in the middle stage of the star venerable realm. He felt he was even more powerful than the master of star origin. Compared to the immature green demon star venerable he had dealt with before, this one was more perfect. It had the second-level star Dharma idol. As expected, this was their lair, and there were star venerables here. "Greetings, sir." They knelt down one after another, not daring to disobey. "I'm asking you, what happened?" The green demon star venerable waved his hand and sent the kneeling green demon star venerable flying. The green demon star venerable tumbled dozens of times, and his face was swollen. He was so angry that etiquette was useless. The divine blood sacrifice tree is gone. A green demon star venerable hurried to get up and reported. "Nonsense. Did I not see it?" The green demon star venerable slapped him again and sent him flying. Then he looked at another shivering star venerable and said coldly, "You, tell me." "Sir, we really don't know. First, we felt a tremor. Then, we ran down to check, only to discover that the blood sacrifice tree had disappeared. It had been moved away in a short period of time. We could not react in time," the Green Devil Star Monarch said honestly. "What a bunch of trash. It seems you've been living comfortably for too long. Go to the seal and help break it. Don't stay here." The Green Demon Star Venerable said coldly. "Yes, sir." They didn't refute him. They got up and flew toward the sealed passage. In fact, their original mission was to go to the Five-Element Mountain to help. Since they couldn't go through the seal at will, they had to be arranged slowly. Under normal circumstances, only Star Masters would break the seal, while Star Venerables would wait for a hole to appear in the seal before rushing over. Now, they were like laborious, going over to help. This kind of punishment was relatively light. The Green Demon Star Venerable couldn't kill them in anger. Chapter 2052. When Yi Tianyun saw this, he smiled to himself. It seemed that he had made the right decision. The blood sacrifice divine tree was very important to them. All their awakenings came from it. It was not impossible to cultivate another blood sacrifice divine tree, but it would take a lot of time and resources. This was something they could afford, but wasting too much time was undoubtedly not worth it. They had spent tens of thousands of years cultivating this blood sacrifice divine tree. Now that it had disappeared, they felt very distressed. They searched for it like crazy. After the green demon star venerate issued the punishment, he made them frantically search for the blood sacrifice divine tree. Even if they had to turn this place upside down, they had to find the blood sacrifice divine tree. What a bunch of fools. They couldn't even endure a blood sacrifice divine tree. They are really stupid. The green demon star venerate was so angry that he almost exploded. It was not a big deal. They had so many star masters, and some of them often broke through to the star venerate level. However, the blood sacrifice divine tree could only awaken a few star venerates each time. The rest had to wait in line. The star venerates who had not awakened the star dharma phase were incomplete. Therefore, the blood sacrifice divine tree was very important. Now that the blood sacrifice divine tree was gone, it would greatly reduce the speed at which the experts could awaken. How could he not be anxious? Who on earth has the blood sacrifice divine tree to take it away? The rest of the trash can take away the blood sacrifice divine tree by force. Or, who came down from above? The green demon star venerate frowned. Then, he turned his head and said to his subordinate, "Go and check for me. Did someone come down from above?" "Yes, Your Excellency." His subordinate immediately went to check to see if he could find any clues. In the green demon star venerate's opinion, the only possibility was that someone came down from above and did not exist in this world. If that person had existed in this world, he would have taken action long ago. Why would he wait until now? After giving his orders, the green demon star venerate found a place to sit down. He drank the blood while waiting for the news. When Yi Tianyun saw this, his face sank. It seemed that the green demon star venerate had some ideas. He knew that he would track the cultivators who came down from above. However, this was meaningless. They probably wouldn't be able to find out who he was. Although he had come down from above, he had concealed himself very well. Moreover, there were definitely other green demon race members above, so it was normal for them to come down to report. Thus, there was not much meaning in this investigation. It was just a waste of effort. He was standing not far from the green demon star venerate, yet he had not been seen through. This meant that his aura was so powerful that it would not be easy to see through him. Once he leaves this place, I will finish him off. Yi Tianyun's eyes flashed as he swiftly hid in a corner to avoid being discovered and taken away to do manual labor. He was now waiting for Green Demon Star Venerate to leave so that he could secretly kill him. The Green Devil Star Sovereign was the Green Devil race's strongest combat power, so he naturally had to take care of him first. Killing as many as he could, especially since they were all full of star energy. How could he possibly let them go? After hiding in a house, he did not stay idle. Instead, he turned his attention to the good and evil exchange system. After killing so many experts, he had finally accumulated more than 1,000 good and evil points, which meant that he could draw one of the treasures. They were bloodline, divine skill, divine medicine, and special item. He was somewhat looking forward to these things. No matter what, he had accumulated for a long time to obtain so many, so the things he gave him couldn't be too bad, right? Let's activate the luck aura first. Yi Tianyun immediately activated the luck aura. Previously, he had to activate the luck aura before drawing the lottery so that he could draw better things. After activating the luck aura, he immediately began to draw. Let me draw the lottery. Congratulations on reaching level 1000. The lottery will now begin. Beep, beep, beep. The good and evil exchange system began to flash, jumping back and forth between these few items. Yi Tianyun did not know what was inside, as it did not appear at all. Thus, he could only stare blankly. Soon, the flash stopped, and it finally landed on the divine skill. Divine skill. Yi Tianyun's eyes lit up. Although he did not know what it was, just by looking at the word divine, he knew that it would not be bad. Moreover, the divine skills he had always obtained were not bad. It was just that their effects had deteriorated, and some of them were not worth leveling up, or they could not be leveled up at all. Not every divine skill could be brought into this world, and some of them could not be leveled up. It was like a weapon. The foundation was there, and no matter how many materials were added, it did not matter. The limit was clear from the start. Ding! Congratulations on getting the super soul-searching skill. Super Soul Searching, Level 1. Can search the soul of the target. The higher the level, the deeper the memory can be searched. Now at Level 1, can search all the memories of Star Lords and below. Star Venerable level, can only search half of the level, increase or decrease according to the strength of the soul. Super Soul Searching. Yi Tianyun almost jumped in joy. He had always wanted to read minds. But now, the Super Soul Searching had popped up. All this time, he had been troubled by not being able to gather information. Everyone's soul was extremely powerful, and it was difficult to search their memories easily. But now, with the Super Soul Searching, things were different. It was really a divine skill. In this way, he could understand everything from the target's memory. Seems like activating the luck aura is very useful. I really got a divine skill. It will be much easier to search souls in the future. Yi Tianyun showed a satisfied smile. This was a pleasant surprise. At the same time, he also noticed that in the good and evil exchange system, the 1000th level had dimmed, which meant he could not continue to exchange. The next level was the 10,000th level. He had to accumulate this number before he could exchange for something. There was no difference in the things he could exchange for. It was the same as before. But Yi Tianyun was looking forward to it even more. Maybe there would be even better things. At this moment, the Green Demon Star Venerable quickly received the news from his subordinate. After he heard it, just as Yi Tianyun had expected, he did not find any clues. He only heard that his own people had come down from above, but he did not see any outsiders coming down. That's strange. What's the reason? The Green Demon Star Venerable stood up and said with a cold look, "Looks like I have to look for it myself. If I don't force out those stubborn trash, I'm afraid I won't be able to get anything out of them." Chapter 2053. Green Demon Star Venerable flew directly to a remote area, as if he was looking for something. At that moment, a shout suddenly came from behind. Sir, I have something important to report." At that moment, a figure quickly flew over from behind. He was much weaker than Green Demon Star Venerable. After Green Demon Star Venerable heard this, he stopped, turned his head, and frowned. What else? Green Demon Star Venerable looked up and down at his clansman, who seemed to have human blood. He didn't have a good impression of him, and he even felt a bit disgusted. Huff, huff, huff. Sir is too fast. I almost couldn't catch up. When this green demon flew in front of Green Demon Star Venerable, he stopped and panted. It seemed that he had desperately tried to catch up, but his energy had been exhausted. If you have something to say it quickly. If you say any more nonsense, I will throw you out of here. Green Demon Star Venerable's eyes were cold, and he had no patience. Okay, the general situation is like this. The Green Demon Star Venerate nodded as if he was listening to what his fellow clansman wanted to say. Suddenly, a power that had been compressed to the extreme bombarded him from the opposite side. Caught off guard, he was hit by this power. The violent power directly smashed his body into pieces, leaving only his head, which was quickly grabbed by a palm. Then, a surging power rushed in and sealed his power. What's going on? Green Demon Star Venerable was stunned. Even though his head was sealed, he didn't know what was going on. Everything happened too fast, and it was accompanied by an extremely terrifying power that completely surpassed his own, crushing him. More importantly, it was his subordinate who attacked him. Naturally, it was Yi Tianyun. After using a false identity to deceive the other party, he quickly attacked and defeated the enemy with one move. This kind of move was tried and tested. Even if the opponent was prepared, it wouldn't be too deep. He quickly held his head and hid in the forest below. Not long after Xiao Chen hid inside, a patrol envoy quickly flew over. After circling around, the patrol envoy said doubtfully, "Strange, I clearly felt a strong energy erupt here earlier. Why is there nothing now?" After a fruitless search, he left this place. After the order was issued, the patrols became much more active than before. Therefore, they would immediately come over to check if there was any movement. It seemed that the Green Demon race was very relaxed when it was time to relax. When it was time to be vigilant, he would be extremely vigilant. At the same time, Yi Tianyun grabbed the Green Demon Star Venerable's head and went to a corner. Looking at the head, he said with a smile, I didn't expect to subdue a star venerable so easily. You're not one of us. Who are you? Green Demon Star Venerable stared at Yi Tianyun. Although he sensed a familiar aura, judging from his behavior, he was definitely not one of his clansmen. No matter how hostile the Green Demons were, they would not attack each other. This was especially the case for Star Venerables. There were only a few of them, and they knew each other. I am indeed not one of your clansmen, but does that matter? Yi Tianyun looked at him and smiled faintly. Oh right, before I die, I'll give you some information as a reward for providing your memories to me. The divine blood sacrifice tree was snatched by me. Isn't this shocking news? Sure enough, it's you. Green Demon Star Venerable opened his eyes wide. Anger welled up in him, almost bursting out of his eyes. He had guessed it before. Now that the truth had been revealed, he was so angry. But it was pointless. Yi Tianyun was still smiling. Looking at him, he said, That's right, it's me. Now, let me search your soul and see what kind of memories you have in your head. Ha, 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 even if your cultivation isn't weak, you still want to search my soul? You can only find a few things at most. Do you still expect to find more memories? How naive you are. Green Demon Star Venerable mocked him. Even at the brink of death, he would not compromise. Frog in a well. Yi Tianyun sneered, System, give me an upgrade. Ding. After deducting star energy, the system has successfully upgraded to Level 2 Super Soul Search. Level 2 Super Soul Search, able to completely search the memories of a star venerable. If he wanted to collect the complete memories, he would definitely need to upgrade it. If he didn't upgrade it, he would only be able to collect half of the memories, which was obviously not what he wanted. Then, he grabbed Green Demon Star Venerable's hand and quickly shone. The Super Soul Search divine skill rushed into Green Demon Star Venerable's head. Green Demon Star Venerable's head was filled with confusion. Then, he felt like all his memories were pouring out like a flood. He couldn't stop them even if he wanted to. A moment later, he recovered from his daze and felt as if he had been stripped naked. Everything about him had been seen without any reservation. TSK, TSK. Thanks a lot. I learned a lot of things from you. It can be said that I've stripped the Green Demon clan clean. I didn't know that the Green Demon clan had such a large scale. That's really surprising. Yi Tianyun nodded with satisfaction after he had finished the soul search. The Super Soul Search was really useful. It had dug out all his memories and allowed him to find them easily. It wasn't like before, when he could only collect a few memories, which were almost negligible. Now, it was different. He knew all of his memories. Plus, this was a high-level level. With a soul search, he basically knew everything. Even if he didn't know the most crucial information, he would at least know most of it. What kind of power is this? You actually invaded my soul and searched my memories. Green Demon Star Venerable was about to go crazy. No matter who it was, their memories were the most private and secretive things. Because of this, they would mark their souls with all kinds of marks to prevent them from searching their souls after they were captured. Now, he discovered that his previous defenses were useless. They had all been dug out. I already said that you were a frog at the bottom of a well. You still don't believe me? Yi Tianyun looked at him with pity. It's time to send you down. Go down and be buried with the others. Before Green Demon Star Venerable could reply, Yi Tianyun crushed his head. He didn't need to hear Green Demon Star Venerable's last words. It was meaningless. After crushing it, he immediately heard a long string of star energy and the like. But that wasn't the main point. The most important thing was the memories. These memories gave him a general understanding of the Green Demon Clan's situation. Information was more important than anything else. Only by grasping all the information could he take the initiative. Chapter 2054. Yi Tianyun learned the details of the Green Demons through the soul search. At the same time, he was deeply shocked by the current strength of the Green Demon race. There were 10 Star Venerables here, and more than 20 Star Lords. As for Star Masters, there were too many of them to count. There were more than 10,000 of them. With the power of the Green Demon race, It could be said that they had conquered this world. However, they could only occupy this world, because they couldn't go out of the other worlds. They were all trapped here. If they kept flying, they would run into a barrier very soon, so they couldn't escape. The weakest seal was the one leading to the 5 Elements mountain. The seals on the other sides couldn't be broken at all. If they could, they would have done it a long time ago. So many strong people were trapped here. It was really pitiful. However, pitiful people were always hateful. The green demons were so fierce that they were sealed here. There was an extremely mysterious strong man living in seclusion in the green demon's palace. Even the green demon Star Venerable didn't know what level he was. It could even be said that most Star Venerables hadn't seen him. Only a few Star Venerables had. At least the green demon Star Venerable, whose soul had been searched by Yi Tianyun, didn't know much about that mysterious man. It seemed there was some information about him. Most people didn't know about him. Mysterious man? What's going on? Yi Tianyun frowned. No matter how strong he was, he couldn't get rid of the Star Venerable level. If he was strong, he would have run away with them. Why did he have to stay here? Although he didn't know some information, he knew most of it. For example, there were other cultivators in this world, but most of them had been killed by the green demons. Only a few of them were left. Seeing the corpses in the Star Brilliant City, he knew how many cultivators there were left. They must have caught almost all of them. Most importantly, they had let those cultivators escape on purpose. Some of them knew where they were hiding, but they didn't go to kill them. Because they needed corpses. They needed the cultivators' essence blood. So, they kept them in captivity. When their numbers reached a certain level, they would kill them. That was the worst thing. If they didn't do that, they wouldn't be able to collect the cultivators' essence blood. Without blood essence, there was no way to awaken. Cultivators would not have their awakened star aspect sealed. After all, it was the green demon race that was cursed, not other cultivators. To put it bluntly, it wasn't this land that was cursed, it was purely the green demon race that was cursed. The power of this curse could only be achieved by an existence with a higher cultivation base. With a single word, life or death was decided. This kind of existence was above Star Venerables. Above Star Venerable was the Great Star Venerable. A Great Star Venerable possessed the complete power of a Star Venerable. It could easily seal a race or even a world. The green demon race must have been cursed by a Great Star Venerable. That was why even the starry Dharmic idol could not detect it. Only through the blood sacrifice divine tree and using the cultivator's blood to forcefully sense the star avatar would one be able to obtain the power of the star avatar. From this, it could be seen that even if it was a curse, there were still ways to circumvent it. However, the price needed to be paid was not low. It required all kinds of steps to release this power. He pondered for a moment, then decided not to think too much about it. Instead, he began to formulate a plan of extermination. It was naturally impossible for him to deal with so many Star Venerables at once. However, he could eliminate them slowly. He would start with the Star Venerables and eliminate them layer by layer. Eventually, he would eliminate the strongest green demon race without anyone noticing. As long as he eliminated the strongest green demon race, the rest would not be a threat. Then he shifted his target to another city, the Wilderness City. There were several Star Venerables there, so it would not be difficult to eliminate them. Soon, he flew to the Wilderness City quickly to carry out his plan. He blended in perfectly. Even the Star Venerables could not see through his identity, let alone the other green demons. In the Wilderness City, the green demon Star Venerables were discussing who had taken the blood sacrifice divine tree. According to my guess, there must be a group of experts hiding and evading our detection. At this moment, he suddenly appeared and snatched away our blood sacrificial tree. This group of experts is so powerful. How could they avoid the detection of so many lords? I don't think it's possible. Then tell us what happened. Besides, where else could such experts have come from? I think it's possible that they came from above. Nonsense. Our clansmen have been guarding that place. Don't we know who came down? According to the latest information, no suspicious people have come down. Who said they had to come down from there? I guess they came from another region. It's hard to say. You mean they came from the barrier? That's impossible. That's a cursed region. Even star venerables can't go there. They had been discussing this matter. The blood sacrifice divine tree was the biggest problem at the moment. Every city was on high alert to join in the search for the blood sacrifice divine tree. The blood sacrifice divine tree was a way for all green demons to improve their strength. It was the only one in the whole world. Sirs, I think that they should have come down from above. At this moment, a ghostly voice sounded in their ears. I told you. Someone must have supported me. They must have come from above. As for coming from the barrier, it's impossible. As for which region they came from, it might be another region. Hey, who let you in? The Star Lords looked toward the region where the voice had come from. They found a strange face near them. When they looked carefully and found it was an insignificant subordinate, they showed an unhappy expression. Didn't you let me in? Yi Tianyun walked over with a smile. Who let you in? We don't remember letting you in. They were a little unhappy. You were talking about me just now, weren't you? Yi Tianyun said with a smile. We were talking about. Could it be, soon? They were speechless. Before they died, they saw Yi Tianyun's real body and felt his dreadful power clearly. In the twinkling of an eye, the Star Lords were killed easily. After killing them, Yi Tianyun left quietly and went to the next city. He had to kill most of the experts before the news was leaked. Otherwise, it would be difficult to deal with them if they were exposed. Chapter 2055. Yi Tianyun stealthily swept all the Green Demon Clan's experts along the way and killed them easily. Finally, after he destroyed several cities in a row, the Green Demons finally noticed something. With so many Star Lords missing, how could they not notice? Maybe they didn't know who was behind this, but the disappearance of the Star Lords made all the Green Demons vigilant. Who is behind this? Many of our Star Lords are missing. Is it the murderer who stole the divine blood sacrifice tree? Maybe it's him. Since the divine blood sacrifice tree was stolen, his cultivation must be high. It seems that our clansman must have been killed. What should we do? We can't even find a trace of him. How can we find him? A group of Star Venerables, including some Star Venerables, gathered together. They all had serious expressions. Their opponent was in the dark, while they were in the light. They didn't even know what their opponent looked like. This was the most terrifying thing. They had always been the ones behind this, lying in ambush in the big forces. Now, it was their turn to feel this pain. They couldn't find or see the murderer, which was a very uncomfortable feeling. They were very angry, but there was nothing they could do. They didn't know what to do. I suggest that we sweep through the place and eliminate all the cultivators that we've let out before. One of the Green Demon Star Venerables said coldly, maybe the murderer is hiding in there, or we can force the murderer out. The only ones who are our enemies are these cultivators. But in this case, how can we use the blood sacrifice in the future? A Star Lord reminded him immediately. Without cultivators, they would have no blood to use for the blood sacrifice. After all, there were only so many cultivators. If all of them died, there would be no more cultivators to find. Are you still thinking about this? The Green Demon Star Venerables said coldly, are you waiting for all of us to die before you think of this method? The Green Demon Star Venerables' words had blocked the Star Lord's words. It seemed that there was no other way. So many experts had been dispatched, but they had found very little information. They didn't know how to find the murderer. This was the most vexing thing. Nothing like this had ever happened before. It wasn't that they didn't look for it. In fact, they even put in all their effort to look for it, but they still couldn't find any clues. This was undoubtedly the scariest thing. All right then, let's do that. Where should we start? This Star Venerate took out a roulette and tossed it forward. Immediately, a map appeared before them. There were many glowing spots on the map, all of which marked the hiding spots of some cultivators. Since they deliberately let them out, they definitely knew where they were hiding. What they wanted was complete control, so they could easily find them. There was no need to search everywhere. Let's start from here. Sweep all the way and capture all the cultivators. If you can't answer, just kill them, Green Devil Star Venerable said ruthlessly. All right. They nodded and immediately gave orders to their subordinates to capture those cultivators. After issuing the order, groups of Green Demon race members rushed out and flew toward the various hiding spots. They wanted to sweep all the hiding spots in one go. As for some experts, they flew toward the glowing spots they had just designated. The Star Venerates didn't dare to split up. After all, so many Star Venerates were dead. If they acted alone, they would probably be killed. Therefore, they could only act together, patrolling the glowing spots one by one. As for those Green Demon Star Venerates, it didn't matter how they died, as long as the Star Venerates were safe. They're starting to move. When Yi Tianyun saw the groups of Green Demon race members flying out, his eyes flashed. He knew that they had started to carry out their plan. Yi Tianyun had been hiding inside the Green Demon race, so it was impossible to find him. But now, because of him, they were all heading toward the hiding spots of the cultivators. Originally, the cultivators were temporarily safe, but now it had become dangerous. This could be considered his responsibility, but it didn't exceed his expectations. He knew that if he continued to do this, it would definitely cause such a situation. But there was no other way. If he wanted to kill more Star Venerates, he could only do this. If he charged over with a big fanfare, they would soon finish running and gather together. Now, it happened to be within the scope of his calculations, and it didn't exceed his expectations. Now that they have gathered, it's time to harvest. Yi Tianyun's eyes were cold. When the number was controlled to a certain extent, he could achieve the result of total annihilation. The Green Demon race was planning, and so was Yi Tianyun. Soon, the Green Demon race led a large force and charged toward one of the spots. In this hidden spot, a group of cultivators were desperately cultivating, and they didn't dare to relax. They knew that if they slacked off, only death awaited them. They wanted to make a comeback, they didn't want to die here, and they didn't want to be confined by the Green Demon race. They wanted to resist, and they wanted to live. At every moment, they seemed to have gone mad, constantly cultivating. There were many guards outside, staring at the situation outside, paying attention to all movements. Tianshan Village. A small mountain village, hidden in the mountains, was protected by layers of concealment. They didn't know if it was useful, but they could only do this. There were tens of thousands of cultivators here, and the strongest among them was only at the level of Master Xing. There were very few Star Masters, and there were only a few of them. They had a clear division of labor, and they vigorously trained disciples. If there were some talented disciples, they would immediately hide, so as not to be discovered by the Green Demon race. I'm afraid the peaceful days won't last long. The village chief sighed. I don't know when we will be captured by the Green Demon race again. By the way, have those children been sent away? It will be safer to hide there. The village chief said to the people next to him. They have just been sent away. These children are extremely talented, and some of them have even awakened the 5th-level Star Laws. Our future can only rely on this group of children. Yes. We must not let ourselves be slaughtered. We must hide our strength, and then find an opportunity to fight back. Alas, this has been our wish for many years, and I don't know when we can fight back. In any case, we can only continue like this, otherwise there will never be a day for us to rise again. Their eyes were firm. Even though they knew that they were deliberately let go by the Green Demon race, they did not give up hope, and still tried to rush forward. At this time, an urgent report came from outside. The Green Demon race is here. Chapter 2056. The Tianshan village chief and the others did not expect the Green Demons to attack so soon. According to previous deductions, it should not be that area, especially since they had just carried out a crazy hunt some time ago. How long had it been, and they had already done it again? This made their faces pale, and despair appeared in the depths of their eyes. They were most afraid that the children they had just sent out would be intercepted by the Green Demons. Those were their hope. It did not matter if they died, but they were most worried about the children who were full of hope. Those were their future. Quick, let's kill our way out. No matter what, we have to let those children escape successfully. The Tianshan village chief and the others quickly flew out and gathered all the villagers to kill their way out to resist the green demons. At the same time, when a group of powerful green demon star lords flew over to the Tianshan village, they scanned the surroundings with their powerful spiritual senses and immediately detected a group of cultivators. They were very careful to hide themselves from others. However, in front of the powerful green demon star lords, they could not hide. Their cultivation was not high to begin with. How could they hide from their eyes with such poor concealment ability? Oh, there are people who want to secretly move. Maybe there is some information in there. Several star lords landed and blocked in front of them. Where do you want to escape to? The green demon star lord waved his hand, and the hidden power instantly dissipated. A group of children was exposed in front of the green demons. They were roughly in their teens, and their cultivation was not high, only at the star apostle level. In this area with such rich vitality, it was not difficult to cultivate to the star apostle level. Especially since there were many divine medicines here, it was even easier to break through to the star apostle level. Therefore, it seemed that this group of young cultivators had already reached the star apostle level. They were protected by 2 Master Shing, but these 2 Master Shing were not strong enough in front of so many star lords. Green Demon Star Lord. Master Shing's face darkened. They did not expect things to be so bad. They had only set off for a short while, and they had already been discovered by the green demons. Had the green demons received some news and deliberately come to intercept them? Even so, there was no need to send so many strong cultivators, right? A few more Master Shing could easily crush them, but now there were several Star Lords, which was completely different. One of the Green Devil Star monarchs stretched out his hand and grabbed Grandmaster Shing, the leader, over. Grandpa Wei. This group of young cultivators shouted. When they felt the aura of a star venerate, they found it hard to advance. Even moving was difficult. Tell me, has there ever been an expert here? Or, did some super expert pass by? Tell me, and I will spare your lives. The Green Devil Star monarch demanded sternly. An expert appeared before? Grandpa Wei revealed a bleak smile. We've always been captured by you. Those with slightly stronger cultivations would be captured. How could there be any experts left? Looks like you don't want to tell me. Then let's kill a batch first. The Green Devil Star Sovereign gently raised his hand, and the children were lifted high. A formless energy grabbed their heads, ready to crush them at any moment. Grandpa Wei's face was pale as he shouted, "Let them go, they don't know anything. I've said it before, as long as you tell me, I'll let you go. I'm a man of my word." It was not that they were overflowing with sympathy, but there was no need to kill them all. As long as they could find the murderer, there would be no problem. But we don't know what you want to ask. Grandpa Wei said hurriedly. The murderer of the divine blood sacrifice tree, the Green Devil Star Sovereign said sternly. Could it be that the disappearance of the divine blood sacrifice tree was the doing of some expert? Grandpa Wei started laughing after hearing this. It seems that we have hope. Even if we knew, we wouldn't tell you. Child, I'm sorry, we have to leave first this time. I hope that Sir can avenge us and find hope for us. After Grandpa Wei heard this, his eyes were filled with tears. However, they were not tears of sorrow, but tears of joy. They had been collecting information and naturally found out about the disappearance of the divine blood sacrifice tree. However, they did not contact them. After all, they knew the situation here. How could there be such a powerful existence? Didn't they keep their talented disciples hiding so that they could severely injure the Green Devil race? Now, someone was helping them. Although they did not know who it was, as long as they could severely injure the Green Devil race, they would not betray them. Even if they died, they would not give up Yi Tianyun. Of course, they did not know that it was Yi Tianyun who did it. The many young children clenched their teeth, nodded, and shouted, "We will never yield. We hope that Sir will avenge us." They were not afraid of death. From the moment they were born, they had been trained to not fear death. The main thing was that living was a luxury for them. If they could not turn things around, they could only die. Now that someone could severely injure the Green Devil race, they knew that there was hope. Perhaps they would not survive, but at the very least, their compatriots would survive. You have quite a backbone. In that case, all of you can die. The Green Devil Star Monarch was angered. Not only did he not threaten them, but he was also angered by them. The group looked up at the sky. Even in the face of death, they would not compromise. At their final moments, they wanted to imprint the scene of this world in their minds. The Green Devil Star Monarch clenched his fists, controlling their strength and tightening it. However, they discovered that it was ineffective. Instead, an even stronger power was protecting them. With me around, no one will dare touch you. A figure floated down and landed in front of them. A wave of energy spread out and scattered the Green Devil Star Monarch's power. "Milord! Milord!" When Grandpa Wei and the others saw Yi Tianyun's back, they were immediately startled. Tears flowed out of their eyes. "Milord, quickly run. There are too many experts surrounding this place. There is no value in saving us. Quickly run and hide. Come out when there is an opportunity," they all shouted, hoping that Yi Tianyun would leave quickly and not make pointless sacrifices for them. After all, it was not worth it to sacrifice for them. There is nothing that is not worth it. Your lives are worth it as well. Yi Tianyun said sullenly, "From today onwards, we will launch a complete counterattack and destroy the Green Devil race. Ha ha ha. What arrogance. You want to destroy our Green Devil race with just one person?" When the Green Devil Star Monarch saw Yi Tianyun come out, he was startled by his strength. However, when he sensed it, he discovered that Yi Tianyun's strength was not very strong, just slightly stronger than his own. Most importantly, Yi Tianyun was alone. What was there to fear? Boom. Chapter 2057. Several Green Demon Star Venerates were killed by Yi Tianyun with one slap. They were like pieces of paper, easily slapped to death. When Grandpa Wei and the rest saw this, they were really shocked. How could they not know what a Star Venerate represented? It was a supreme powerhouse. They had spent their entire lives to break through to the Star Venerate realm. Fortunately, they had the power to resist. Now, so many Green Demon Star Venerates could not even withstand one move from Yi Tianyun. They were killed one after another. How could they not be shocked? Now, all of you, hurry back and gather everyone. I want you to gather here. Everyone is waiting for you. Yi Tianyun threw a roulette over and asked Grandpa Wei to catch it. When Grandpa Wei saw the light spots on the roulette, he was shocked. "Sir, are you saying that all the factions have gathered together?" "Yes, all the factions have gathered together. Only your Heavenly Mountain Village is left. I deliberately kept you here mainly because you are too close to the Green Demon race. They might keep an eye on you. Therefore, you were notified last. They will only come to rescue you when the situation breaks out." Yi Tianyun quickly explained, "Someone will come to rescue you soon. You should all know each other." Sure enough, several figures soon came. When Grandpa Wei saw them, he said in surprise, "It's the village chief of the Wasteland Village and the village chief of the Qinglu Village." He immediately recognized that they were the village chiefs of the other villages. They had all rushed over, which meant that everything had been arranged properly. Yi Tianyun swept through the other villages. He did not expect that they would attack the other villages. After obtaining the Green Demon Star Venerate's memories, he immediately contacted the other villages and told them to gather together to fight the Green Demon race. At first, when Yi Tianyun told them, they were naturally unwilling to listen. They wanted to fight, but doing so would mean death. Even if they were at death's door, they had to preserve hope and secretly train disciples. Now that Yi Tianyun asked them to fight, wouldn't that be giving away their last hope? When Yi Tianyun showed his strength and brought out the blood sacrifice tree, they were shocked and fell into deep thought. But in the end, they agreed. Because there had been no hope all this time, he might as well fight with them. The most important thing was that Yi Tianyun promised to bring a group of people back. Even if they failed, Yi Tianyun could bring a group of disciples away. Just this point alone was enough for them to agree immediately. They had persisted for so long just to preserve their bloodline. All along, they couldn't escape even if they wanted to, so they could only accumulate power. Now, Yi Tianyun could bring all the cultivators together. Therefore, Yi Tianyun can easily gather all the cultivators together and gather them as a whole. The cultivators as a whole were quite powerful, and there were quite a number of Star Masters. However, there was not a single Star Lords. The Green Demon race probably would not allow their Star Venerates to appear unless they were very well hidden. Otherwise, they would be killed. Yi Tianyun would not allow. Unless Star, Yi Demon Yi would kill. Yi Tianyun doesn't want to sweep all of them. That's a very unwise choice. If he waited until the Green Demon race went to find trouble with the other villages, then he would be in a passive state. Once he knew the general strength of the Green Demon Star Venerable, everything would be easy. Then, the Green Divine Mountain Village was cleaned up. A group of people rushed to the gathering area. Immediately, the Green Demons who were besieging the Tianshan village were all cleaned up, and a group of people rushed to the gathering area. All kinds of great formations had been set up there, which were the best they could do. They might not be enough for the Green Divine Mountain Village, but they were better than nothing. Not long after they gathered, the Green Divine Mountain Village arrived. When the Green Divine Mountain Village went to the big villages, they found the villages had been cleaned up. Then they found a gathering point, so they quickly flew over. When the Green Demon clansmen made their way to the various villages, they discovered that the villages had been emptied. Thereafter, they discovered a gathering point and swiftly flew over. At this moment, a dreadful force gathered in front of them. 7 Star Venerables, 12 Star Lords, and numerous Star Masters. Even if the Burning Desolate Territory and the Star Source Territory gathered, they would not have so many strong people. Even if the Burning Desolate Territory and the Star Source Territory gathered, they would not have so many strong people. It could be said that they were completely crushed. Now, their villages, which did not even have a Star Lord, had to face such a dreadful force. It was like facing a hell. Is this all the strength of the Green Divine Mountain Village? It's really dreadfully powerful. When Yi Tianyun saw so many strong people, his eyes were not filled with despair, but excitement. It was the first time in his life that he had seen so many strong people. The Star Source Territory Lord and the Divine Jade Star Venerable were nothing compared to them. The village heads standing behind Yi Tianyun were also shocked when they saw so many experts coming out of the city. They had known for a long time that the Green Divine Mountain Village was strong, but when they gathered, they found it was so dreadful. Too many strong people. This is the power of the Green Divine Mountain Village. We have attracted all the strong people of the Green Divine Mountain Village. That's right, this is something that has never happened before. They can casually send out a group of Master Xing and they can completely exterminate us. But now they have sent so many strong people. After all, this is about the blood sacrifice divine tree, the future of the Green Divine Mountain Village. How can they not send all their strength? They all looked at Yi Tianyun, their eyes full of hope. They were amazed by the power of the Green Divine Mountain Village, but it did not mean they were afraid of death. From the very beginning, they knew they would face so many strong people, so they did not need to be afraid of anything. Yi Tianyun smiled. The reason why the Green Divine Mountain Village had sent so many strong people was that they had been severely injured. So many Star Lords had been killed, and 3 Star Venerables had been killed. How could they not send all their forces? Unfortunately, he had killed too few people, and there were still too many strong people left. A dreadful power surrounded them, almost airtight. There was no way to escape. Do you think you can deal with us by gathering together? The Cauldron Dragon Star Venerable, the leader of the group, floated in front of them. His eyes were full of killing intent. I don't know where you come from, but since you have come to our world, no matter who you are, you will die here. At the same time, you will also pay for what you have done. You could have lived a little longer, but now it seems impossible. Chapter 2058. The Cauldron Dragon Star Venerable stared at them coldly. He was ready to attack at any time. As long as he gave the order, they would all attack and trample this place into ashes. There were so many strong people. How could a small number of practitioners resist them? The shield here didn't work at all, as if it didn't exist. There was a huge gap between their strengths. The Green Demons had thought they could crush their opponents from the very beginning. Unless their opponents were stronger. But no matter how strong they were, could they be stronger than them? The Cauldron Dragon Star Venerable alone was strong enough to look down on all of them. The Cauldron Dragon Star Venerable was the strongest Star Venerable among the Green Demons. He was a star venerable in the late stage. The others were also star venerables in the late stage, but they were still weaker than the Cauldron Dragon Star Venerable. If the Cauldron Dragon Star Venerable wasn't the strongest, he wouldn't have the right to speak. Only the strongest would have the right to speak. In other words, he would have the right to decide everything. Most of the remaining Star Venerables were in the early stage or the middle stage of Star Venerable. More of them were in the early stage. Only a few of them had reached the middle stage or the late stage. In the face of such pressure, Yi Tianyun smiled and said, "What a big mouth. It seems that all of you Green Demon Clan's mouths are stinky. Do you really think you are the king here? I am not the king here. Are you the king here?" The Cauldron Dragon Star Venerable sized up Yi Tianyun, his eyes full of disdain. "You think you are strong, but you don't know you will bring yourself to hell. You are really stupid. I gave you a way out, but you still want to rebel with him?" The Cauldron Dragon Star Venerable didn't rush to attack. Instead, he observed the situation first. He wanted to see everything clearly. In other words, he wanted to see the regret on the practitioners' faces. If possible, they didn't want to kill these practitioners. They wanted to let them live and reproduce slowly. In the end, they would become fertilizers for the divine blood sacrifice tree. A way out. The way you gave us is to raise us as livestock and then use us as sacrifices? If that's the case, it's ridiculous. We would rather die. The village chiefs started to refute him. This was the first time they had talked so much with the green demons. Normally, they wouldn't have had a chance to do so. "You're starting to have some backbone now?" Cauldron Dragon Star Venerable sneered and said, "Then let me see how strong your backbone is. I hope you can still say such words later. Let's go. Crush their so-called backbone." With a command, the numerous Green Devil race experts rushed forward. The leaders were obviously the strongest Star Venerables, followed by the Star Lords. They had set out this time for the blood sacrifice of the divine tree. Everything was based on taking down the blood sacrificial tree. There was no room for carelessness. They did not want to waste so much time to cultivate a blood sacrificial tree. After this incident, they would definitely increase the number of guards to protect the blood sacrificial tree. All along, they had been too lax. They had never thought that there would be any resistance. They had never imagined that there would be a rebel among the cultivators who had been reared in captivity all this time. Now, a glint flashed across Yi Tianyun's eyes. He took them inside quickly. He did not intend to stay there to resist the green demon's attack. In fact, the village chiefs were very confused. They did not know why Yi Tianyun had done this. This was especially true when all of the cultivators were gathered together and stored in a small world. Normally, this would be suicide. If they got the small world, they would be at the mercy of the green demons. But Yi Tianyun insisted that they do this, so they can only do so. After they had escaped, the village chiefs also went into the small world. Yi Tianyun grabbed the small world and dashed forward with his strongest power. Crazy Mode, on. Starlight King's Effect, on. God of War's Fury, on. All kinds of powers were activated. The strongest power of the 6-color Emperor Dragons dashed toward the weakest area. The 23 cubic meters of astral power over his head was really amazing. "Break it!" Yi Tianyun shouted angrily. He broke the solid seal. His giant body was like a meat grinder, smashing the green demons who tried to stop him into a bloody mist. Even a Star Lord would be smashed into a bloody mist. What's going on? When the Star Venerables dashed in, they found there were no cultivators in their gathering place. They had sensed a large number of cultivators there. How come they had disappeared in the twinkling of an eye? He took those cultivators away. They must be hidden in the small world. "Stop him!" One of the Green Demon Star Venerables shouted, signaling his companions to catch up with him. The Cauldron Dragon Star Venerable, who was watching from behind, was struck dumb. He had not expected Yi Tianyun to do this. He felt he was an idiot. "You want to escape from me? You are too naive. You have no idea what kind of stupid plan you have." The Cauldron Dragon Star Venerable thought he had overestimated his opponent. He had made so many mistakes this time, but his opponent had taken advantage of them perfectly. He had to be cautious. That was why this had happened in the end. However, Yi Tianyun did not confront them head-on. Instead, he chose to escape. What kind of plan was this? It was better to scatter them than to gather together. Maybe it would be harder to find them. When they thought there was something wrong with Yi Tianyun's head, Yi Tianyun's body suddenly shrank to a normal size when he had rushed out of the layers of seals. Then he disappeared in front of them. What? They were dumbfounded. They did not know what had happened. Everything had disappeared. He broke the space and moved away. But it doesn't feel like it. They were all dumbfounded. They tried to sense the fluctuation carefully, but they could not figure out what had happened. While they were dumbfounded, Yi Tianyun had teleported to the exit with the small world. There were still a large number of Grandmasters Xing who were continuously destroying the seal. Yi Tianyun dashed out as soon as he showed up. At the same time, he took out his token so that Clan Master Ji, who was outside, could help him. Go to hell. This time, Yi Tianyun was really killing. He turned into a golden light and rushed out. Wherever he went, the green demons exploded. Star Masters, who were quite valuable outside, were killed in batches here. When Yi Tianyun touched the sealed passage, an opening appeared above him, allowing him to pass through smoothly. The moment he passed through, the passage closed again. Everything went back to normal, as if nothing had happened. Chapter 2059. Yi Tianyun's disappearance drove the green demons crazy. They started to look for him crazily. When they found out that Yi Tianyun had already left the area, they were really dumbfounded, or in other words, they really went crazy. Yi Tianyun had run away with all the practitioners. He had teleported to the entrance of the sealed passage. Then he had run away with all the practitioners. Don't say Yi Tianyun and the others regret it, now they are the ones regretting it. They had sent so many green demons, but they had let him run away. They had been fooled since the beginning. From the beginning, his plan was to bring all the cultivators away. The Cauldron Dragon Star Venerable was dumbfounded. When he recalled his plan, he found that Yi Tianyun's plan was really like that. He had gathered all the practitioners on purpose to attract their attention. He had made them think all the practitioners were there. When all their forces had arrived, Yi Tianyun had turned around and fled. Taking advantage of this gap, Yi Tianyun broke the seal and escaped. As long as he could escape, the green demons outside would not be able to stop the powerful Yi Tianyun. How is this possible? I have never seen such a teleportation. Even if he tore the space apart, he could not have teleported so far. The Cauldron Dragon Star Venerable was going crazy. But it was useless. They had run away. Your Excellency, what should we do now? A group of Star Lords came over. They were all dumbfounded. They had never been fooled like this. They would never forget such a humiliation. They had been so sure of victory, but now they had lost. It was a terrible feeling. It was embarrassing. So many strong practitioners had let him go. They had not obtained the divine blood sacrifice tree or the practitioners. Let's go and destroy that seal pillar. Destroy it. The Cauldron Dragon Star Venerable said in a stern voice, I don't believe we can't destroy it. He was infuriated. Apart from this method, there was no other way. The other Star Venerables and Star Lords looked at each other with strange expressions. If they could destroy it so easily, they would have done it long ago. If one's cultivation was high, they would definitely be able to destroy the pillar faster. However, there was a limit to how fast they could be. Unless one's cultivation was truly heaven-defying, one's speed would be relatively slow. This was why they had sent Grandmaster Xing to destroy it. It wasn't that they were too lazy, it was just that the effects weren't very obvious. They could only let Grandmaster Xing destroy it. It was more cost-effective. Yes, my lord. They could only obey orders. Even other Star Venerables had to obey orders. After all, the Cauldron Dragon Star Venerable was their leader. While the people below were going crazy, Yi Tianyun rushed out in one breath and landed firmly on the side. Patriarch Ji's face was pale. It wasn't easy for him to open the seal, and it consumed a lot of energy. Sir, you're back? Patriarch Ji stood up in surprise. He was very happy to see Yi Tianyun return safe and sound. Yes, they're back, and they brought a bunch of people with them. Yi Tianyun took out a small world and released it. Soon, the village chiefs came out. When they saw the environment, they were all stunned. Isn't this the green demon world? They came to themselves after being stunned for a while. That's right. I've brought you out. I told you I would only bring a bunch of clansmen, but that was a lie. Yi Tianyun said with a faint smile, only in this way can you maintain the highest degree of nervousness. The most important thing is that I'm afraid there might be internal problems, so I'm the only one who knows. From the beginning, Yi Tianyun brought all of them with him. This is a powerful group of people. How can he miss this opportunity? Anyway, it was useless for them to stay in the underground world, so it was better to bring them out and let them join his force. Since they had saved such a bunch of people, their loyalty to him would be the highest. After all, they had stayed in that hellish world for such a long time, and their hearts were full of despair. It was not hard to imagine how grateful they would be to Yi Tianyun when he saved them. Most importantly, they had no one to rely on, so it was only natural for them to join Yi Tianyun's force. That's great. We're finally out. We're finally out of that damn place. Many of the village chiefs had tears streaming down their faces. Even in the face of death or the death of their loved ones, they had never shed a tear. They knew that tears were useless, so they could only stay strong. But now, they were crying. This was the joy of complete liberation. After a while, they knelt in front of Yi Tianyun and swore, "Sir, we hope you can take us in and let us follow you forever. Yes. Without you, we wouldn't have lived to this day. As long as you give the order, we're willing to go through fire and water for you." They all spoke on behalf of their respective villages. The rest of the villagers didn't come out, but their thoughts were definitely the same. "Okay. I'll make good arrangements for you. But before that, I still have one thing to do." Yi Tianyun looked at them and revealed a faint smile. "What is it?" "As long as we can do it, we'll do it." They all wanted to help, and even more so, they wanted to repay him. "That's not necessary. You just came up from down there. How could I let you go down again?" Yi Tianyun said with a smile. "Sir, you mean?" They held their breaths. They had already guessed what he was going to do. "That's right. I just want to turn around and go back. I've already saved you. So, we can continue with the plan, which is to eliminate the Green Demon Clan, just like I told you before." Yi Tianyun's plan had never changed. He just happened to see so many practitioners, so he had to save them. But there are so many Star Venerables, so many Star Lords. They shivered at the thought of the fear they had faced. "Don't worry. I have a way to deal with it." Yi Tianyun turned his head to look at the G-Clan Master. He said, "G-Clan Master, I'll have to trouble you again. I'll ask you to help me open the seal. Is that okay?" The G-Clan Master was dumbfounded. He didn't know the details, but he knew from the village chiefs that it wasn't simple down there. Yi Tianyun still dared to go down there. "It's okay. I promised you that I'd free them completely." Yi Tianyun patted his shoulder. He said with a smile, "Wait for my victorious return. You also wait for me to avenge you." Then Yi Tianyun jumped into the sealed pool without any hesitation. Ding! You've successfully completed the extra special rescue mission. You've received a first-level lottery ticket from the Good and Evil Exchange System. Chapter 2060. I didn't expect to get such a reward. What a pleasant surprise. Yi Tianyun's eyes lit up. He hadn't expected to get such a special reward. He had thought he wouldn't get another one. It turned out he could draw again under special circumstances. Although the items in the 10,000 level area would be better, it would be great if he could get one in the 1,000 level area. After all, the items here must be good. He knew they couldn't be bad through the Super Soul Search. He had thought it would be great if he could get a lot of good points after saving so many people. He hadn't expected to get a chance to draw a lottery, which was much better than getting a lot of good points. If he wanted to draw a lottery, he would have to reach the 10,000 level area. It wasn't an easy process. Killing a strong Star Venerable would only give him dozens of good points, or even hundreds of good points. It wasn't easy to imagine how hard it was to get good points. In a trance, Yi Tianyun had already passed through the layers of seals and entered the Green Devil world. As soon as he arrived, He saw the army of the green demons all over the sky. Almost all the forces of the green demon race were gathered here, ready to destroy the ceiling pillars here. While they were preparing, they saw Yi Tianyun's figure coming down from the sky, and they were all stunned. Didn't they just leave not long ago? Why did they come down from above? I didn't expect you to have the nerve to come down. Let's see how you can escape this time. The Cauldron Dragon Star Venerable came back to himself immediately. He flashed to the exit and sealed it. At the same time, the other Star Venerables surrounded him and sealed the area in all directions. He had no way to escape. This time, they were really going all out. They had to regain their face after the humiliation they had felt before. Escape. I didn't plan to escape this time. Yi Tianyun was excited. Facing so many strong people, he grinned and said, I will have a good fight with you to improve myself. Improve yourself? They didn't know what Yi Tianyun meant. Could he improve himself by fighting with them? Before they could think further, Yi Tianyun had already turned into a 6-colored Emperor Dragon and activated all his power. The Starlight Deity was also added to his body, increasing his astral power by 3 units. It was not over yet. He aimed at the other 2 Star Venerables and directly exerted the devouring starry sky. The giant mouth bit down and devoured the astral power from 8 directions, increasing his astral power from 23 to 31. He was the best in the entire arena, a unique Star Dharma form with 31 squares of star power. They almost swallowed their own tongues. That was 31 cubes of stellar power, not 21. The Cauldron Dragon Star Venerable, who was the strongest among them, could only release 25 or 26 cubic meters of star power, while Yi Tianyun could release 31 cubic meters of star power. What did that mean? Wrath of the War God? Yi Tianyun roared and stepped forward with all his might. The void was shattered and the explosive power spread out in all directions. Because there were too many green demons here, they were directly crushed into pieces by his power. Even the star venerates that were closer were shaken to pieces. His power was too overbearing. With the help of 31 cubic meters of star power and the crazy mode, each of his attacks was as powerful as he was at his peak. Cool. Yi Tianyun swept all the way and laughed heartily. He crushed the Green Devil race along the way and felt a lot of Green Devil race being crushed by him. Stupid human, stop. A Star Venerable tried to stop him. The heavenly demon Star Dharma form behind him was released. The powerful Star Venerable power wanted to stop Yi Tianyun. Break. Yi Tianyun didn't even look at the Star Venerable, and he continued to step forward, crushing the Star Venerable's explosive power into powder, and finally fell on the Star Venerable's body, crushing it. A strong man in the early stage of the Star Venerable realm could not even survive one attack from Yi Tianyun. This was the most violent power, and no one could resist it. At least, ordinary Star Venerables couldn't resist such a violent power. Yi Tianyun dared to intrude into the lair of the green demons alone because he was confident in himself. Powerful strength was more effective than any schemes. Exciting. Yi Tianyun laughed. He could not have been so carefree in the outside world. Star Lords were the strongest among them. Star Lords could not even resist half an attack from him. Only Star Venerables were slightly stronger. Most importantly, the green demons, a disgusting existence, had been eliminated. Isn't his power too strong? They were terrified. They had thought they could stop Yi Tianyun easily, but it turned out they had been too naive. They were trying to stop a monster. They thought they were monsters, but facing Yi Tianyun's violent power, no healing methods could work. They were crushed directly. Don't be so arrogant. A powerful force came from the void and collided with Yi Tianyun's attack. Dong. Yi Tianyun was sent flying. He could not gain any advantage. The one confronting him was another powerful fiery rain star venerable. He was a star venerable in the late stage. He was the second strongest person there. At this moment, only a star venerable in the late stage could stop Yi Tianyun. A star venerable in the middle stage could not stop him at all. Fortunately, he was not as weak as he was in the early stage, so he could resist the attack. After Fiery Rain Star Venerable appeared the Heavenly Demon Star, not the Green Demon Divine Star. He had not achieved a level 6 Star Dharma idol. But its level had reached level 3. Arrogant, so what? Yi Tianyun grinned. Thank you for your help. Fiery Rain Star Venerable was struck dumb. He did not know what was going on. All of a sudden, Yi Tianyun's power soared from the Star Venerable in the early stage to the Star Venerable in the middle stage. He reached the star force of 31 cubic meters in one go. His star force had increased by 5 cubic meters. But this was not the most important thing. The most important thing was that his foundation had been greatly improved. The foundation was always more important than these bonuses. Chaotic stars, dragon. Yi Tianyun opened his giant mouth and breathed out. A violent power swept out and engulfed Fiery Rain Star Venerable directly. Even the green demons around him were crushed by this attack. After killing so many green demons, he had already reached the level where he could improve his cultivation. When there was any resistance, he would break out immediately and break through to a higher level. Under the roaring stars of the giant dragon, he crushed all the green demons. He killed another group of green demons. Fiery Rain Star Venerable, who had been bombarded, did not die, but his body was badly mutilated. He looked quite miserable. Chapter 2061. Awesome. Yi Tianyun felt his power increase, which made him feel really good. As expected, the feeling of power increase was the best. That was the power that could control the whole area. Who could stop him? Even the green demons in the late stage of Star Venerable realm were sent flying by him. With such power, no one in the two domain worlds would be a match for him, right? How could there be such a powerful cultivator? Flaming Rain Star Venerate's eyes were filled with horror. She thought that she could fight Yi Tianyun for a few moves, and even suppress him, but now it seems that she was the one being suppressed. Life extraction. Suddenly, a green light shrouded Yi Tianyun from the sky and instantly penetrated Yi Tianyun's body. The green light began to extract Yi Tianyun's life force. Yi Tianyun looked up and saw the star Dharma Laksana of the green demon Divine Star appear behind the Cauldron Dragon Star Venerable. It was a level 6 star Dharma Laksana, and it was at the 3rd level. No wonder the Cauldron Dragon Star Venerable could become the strongest green demon. The level 6 star Dharma Laksana was more powerful than all the other green demons. It was still at the 3rd level, but its power was amazing. Now the Cauldron Dragon Star Venerable took action. He had thought he would not need to do anything, but he did. Under the life extraction, Yi Tianyun felt the vitality in his body was being extracted bit by bit. It was not fast, but as long as Yi Tianyun was still in range, his vitality would be extracted. The extracted vitality was absorbed by the Cauldron Dragon Star Venerable little by little. Don't think no one can stop you. The Cauldron Dragon Star Venerable made hand signs quickly and said with a cold look, "Give me the divine tree of blood sacrifice, and I will keep your body intact." Are you kidding me? Keep my body intact? Yi Tianyun said with a cold smile. Besides, even if you want to keep my body intact, I don't want to keep yours intact. Do you think you are invincible just because you are so arrogant here? In my opinion, you are the naive one. Yi Tianyun aimed at the Cauldron Dragon Star Venerable and released the Chaotic Star Dragon. A power strong enough to crush a Star Venerable went toward the Cauldron Dragon Star Venerable once again. Fool, this is the world of our Green Demon clan. I'll let you see what it means to be in control. The Cauldron Dragon Star Venerable took a deep breath, causing the ground to shake. Then, a rich life force started surging towards the Cauldron Dragon Star Venerable, filling his body. This place was filled with life force. Under his casual summons, he could strengthen his life force at any time. With the support of the entire Earth, his strength began to increase greatly. His star power did not increase, but Yi Tianyun clearly felt that the Cauldron Dragon Star Venerable's power had increased significantly, and it had even become one with the Earth. In such a state, the Cauldron Dragon Star Venerable's power was greatly enhanced. After all, it was connected with the Earth, which meant that it could mobilize the power of the area at will. As the Cauldron Dragon Star Venerable gathered the Earth's power, he swung his hand toward Yi Tianyun. He gathered the life force of the Earth and turned it into a giant green divine palm, which covered Yi Tianyun. Although this palm was formed by a great amount of life force, it would not bring any life force to Yi Tianyun. Instead, it would drain Yi Tianyun dry. I am the earth. The Cauldron Dragon Star Venerable exerted his strongest move. With the support of the earth's power, his power reached a new height. It did not seem like he was exerting the Star Venerable's power, but the earth's power. When the two were combined, his power reached a new height. Compared to Yi Tianyun's strength, it's even stronger. His cultivation was stronger than Yi Tianyun's, and his Star Dharma idol was also stronger than Yi Tianyun's. Now, his control of power was even stronger than Yi Tianyun's. As expected, it was easy to be at a disadvantage when it came to controlling power in someone else's territory. Your power is not bad. But you are too naive to think you can defeat me with this. Yi Tianyun laughed. A shadow suddenly appeared behind him. Then almost half of the life force that had been flowing toward the Cauldron Dragon Star Venerable went to him. I am the earth. Yi Tianyun exerted the same move. The speed at which he extracted the life force was a little slower than the Cauldron Dragon Star Venerable's. But at least the Cauldron Dragon Star Venerable's power was compressed by a little bit. How can you use this move? The Cauldron Dragon Star Venerable was dumbfounded. Theoretically, only the green demons could exert this move, and it also needed a strong Star Dharma idol as a foundation. For example, the green demon deity star must be the foundation to exert it. Yi Tianyun was not a green demon. How could he have a green demon deity star? The answer was obvious. Yi Tianyun had a green demon deity star. He had obtained it when he killed the divine son of the green demon deity, and now he exerted it. The power of the 3-star Dharma idols was amazing. However, his level was still lower than the Cauldron Dragon Star Venerable's. One was at the 1st level, while the other was at the 3rd level. There was still a big gap between them. But he could still fill the gap. Before the attack came, Yi Tianyun gave up devouring the Star Venerable's star force. His star force fell from 36 cubic meters to 32 cubic meters. At the same time, he opened his mouth and swallowed the star force above the Cauldron Dragon Star Venerable. He swallowed the star force in 8 cubic meters and turned it into his own. His star force went back to 36 cubic meters. The difference was that the Cauldron Dragon Star Venerable's power was immediately weakened. Break. Yi Tianyun laughed loudly. After everything was filled up, he manipulated the life force around him and followed Yi Tianyun. Boom. A fierce explosion spread out, creating a huge pit in the ground. The whole green demon world was shaking violently. Many green demons had been affected by the attack. If they had been close to the attack range of the strong warriors, they would have been affected. Besides, they could not escape in time, so a large number of green demons were killed. They had come here to destroy the ceiling pillars, but now they couldn't run so fast even if they wanted to. They could only watch helplessly as they were engulfed by this power. When the explosion disappeared, the two of them were blown away, as if they were separated by water and sky. An incomparably deep ravine appeared between them, like a huge scar branded on the ground. Both of them had been injured in different ways. However, with the help of their strong life force, they recovered at an amazing speed. They were not injured at all. How can you have our power? The Cauldron Dragon Star Venerable was shocked by how Yi Tianyun could control their power. He could not understand it. Chapter 2062. The Cauldron Dragon Star Venerable didn't understand what Yi Tianyun meant, but he soon realized what Yi Tianyun meant. Then Yi Tianyun turned around and started to attack. He didn't care about the Cauldron Dragon Star Venerable anymore. He crushed every green demon he saw. He prioritized Star Venerables and Celestial Lords. Boom. Boom. While the Cauldron Dragon Star Venerable was in a daze, he found a group of his subordinates had been killed, including 2 Celestial Lords. He finally understood what Yi Tianyun meant. Yi Tianyun didn't want to fight with him. He wanted to kill the other green demons first. Fight with me if you can. The Cauldron Dragon Star Venerable flew into a rage. He chased after Yi Tianyun, trying to stop him. The divine tree of blood sacrifice was gone. If a large number of Celestial Lords and Star Venerables died, it would be very difficult for them to rebuild. Besides, they didn't have any practitioners left. How could they offer their blood as sacrifices? Yi Tianyun turned a deaf ear to him. He continued to attack. This was his usual trick, which was to eliminate the other Green Demon race members first. He had just fought with the Cauldron Dragon Star Venerable head-on. Neither of them could defeat the other. So, he would deal with the other Green Demons first. If he fought with them head-on, he would be in a serious situation. Then he would be doomed. After all, the Green Demons were everywhere. When he was in a bad situation, they would definitely attack him by surprise. The Cauldron Dragon Star Venerable was different. Even if he was severely injured, his companions could help him. Yi Qianyun used all of his elemental powers to kill the Green Demons. The Cauldron Dragon Star Venerable couldn't catch up with him. For a moment, he caused a huge commotion here, and a large number of Green Demons were crushed. Almost all the Celestial Lords were killed. There were only 2 or 3 Star Venerables left. As for the Celestial Masters, many of them had been killed. This place had been occupied by the Green Demons, but now it was empty. There were many pits on the ground. "I will kill you," the Cauldron Dragon Star Venerable snarled. He rushed over to stop Yi Qianyun. Boom! The two of them were bounced back again. Neither of them had the upper hand. Even if the Cauldron Dragon Star Venerable was slightly stronger, Yi Qianyun's situation was not serious. This was especially so with the support of the Green Demon God Star. The life force in the surroundings surged madly towards him, allowing him to devour the life force like a whale. After devouring the life force, his injuries rapidly recovered. These were not fatal injuries, so how could they affect him? Thus, after clashing head-on, Yi Qianyun borrowed this force to rush to the side and continue his slaughter. The Cauldron Dragon Star Venerable was both angry and helpless. It was not that he did not want to use all of his power, but even if he did, he would not be able to suppress Yi Qianyun. He didn't expect Yi Qianyun to be able to hold on. His strength wasn't that far off from his. This was something they didn't expect. A Star Venerable in the middle stage was almost on par with him, a Star Venerable in the late stage. How could he not be infuriated? "Are you deaf? Fight with me face to face if you can. Don't dodge," the Cauldron Dragon Star Venerable shouted angrily again. "Fight with me face to face? When did the Green Demons ever fight openly? I don't need to be so open and aboveboard to deal with you," Yi Qianyun said with a laugh as he continued to sweep the Green Demon race away. Another group of Green Demon race was killed. After many rounds, the Green Demons were almost crippled. They wouldn't be able to recover in a short time. Even if they recovered, they would be those who hadn't awakened the Star Dharma Laksana, which would be even more embarrassing. The Cauldron Dragon Star Venerable's face turned livid after hearing Yi Qianyun's words. His face was already green, but now it was glowing. It was the first time he had felt so helpless. He was a king here, but he could barely intercept Yi Qianyun and interfere with him occasionally. It was impossible for him to crush Yi Qianyun. When Yi Qianyun used the same movement as him, the Cauldron Dragon Star Venerable knew it was hopeless. The Cauldron Dragon Star Venerable had been relying on the power of this place, but Yi Qianyun had copied it. How could he win? He couldn't compete with Yi Qianyun's star power, so the gap between them was not big. If he hadn't been a Star Venerable in the late stage, he would have been suppressed by Yi Qianyun long ago. In the end, Yi Qianyun killed most of the Green Demons as he went on a rampage. A small number of Green Demons survived, and their cultivations were relatively low. None of the powerful Star Lords survived. As for the Star Venerables, 2 of them ran away, which was a pity. This meant the Green Demons only had 3 Star Venerables left, and the rest were below Star Master level. The Green Demons couldn't have killed all of them. After all, those with low cultivations didn't participate in the war. They were still in the big cities. It would take some time to kill them all. "It's almost time. It's your turn." Yi Qianyun finally stopped. Facing the Cauldron Dragon Star Venerable, he didn't run around to kill the Green Demons. The Cauldron Dragon Star Venerable's eyes were bloodshot. He had chased and intercepted Yi Qian many times, but it didn't work. Yi Qianyun finally stopped, but he was so angry that his heart was about to explode. "It's my turn," the Cauldron Dragon Star Venerable shouted angrily. "I won't stop until one of us dies. Come on." The Cauldron Dragon Star Venerable went all out again. He dashed toward Yi Qianyun. He couldn't wait to fight with Yi Tianyun. He wanted to see who could last until the end. Yi Tianyun smiled. Then he dashed toward the Cauldron Dragon Star Venerable. After several moves, the two were evenly matched. They didn't have an advantage over each other. Come on. The Cauldron Dragon Star Venerable shouted angrily and attacked again. Come on. Yi Tianyun also dashed over to fight the Cauldron Dragon Star Venerable. Just as the Cauldron Dragon Star Venerable was about to confront the Cauldron Dragon Star Venerable, a figure suddenly appeared behind him and launched a sneak attack on him. Puff! A knife fiercely pierced into the Cauldron Dragon Star Venerable's body. The violent power directly tore the Cauldron Dragon Star Venerable's body in half. With a scream, the Cauldron Dragon Star Venerable's head was quickly cut off. The moment his body was split open, he quickly retreated to the side. Then he reshaped his body. Thanks to his strong vitality, he was reborn. There was no difference from before. However, his face was a little pale. The consumption of his soul was not something that could be made up for by vitality. At that moment, he saw two Yi Tianyun standing in front of him. You sneak attacked me. The Cauldron Dragon Star Venerable knew something was wrong when he saw the other Yi Tianyun. So what? I told you, who would fight with you fair and square? Are you an idiot? Yi Tianyun laughed, but he was a little unhappy. Chapter 2063. This doppelganger was Yi Tianyun's trump card. Although its cultivation level was not at the top, it was good at sneak attacks. Now, it could hurt the Cauldron Dragon Star Venerable badly. It had been hard to tell who would win, but now the Cauldron Dragon Star Venerable was blown up. Although he was not dead, he had at least injured the Cauldron Dragon Star Venerable, so he was weaker now. At this level, he had lost to Yi Tianyun. If he continued, he would be able to kill the Cauldron Dragon Star Venerable on the spot. However, this fight was a bit difficult. He could not keep crushing his opponent like before. The Cauldron Dragon Star Venerable was too strong. He was the strongest being Yi Tianyun had ever faced. If his cultivation level had not improved, it would have been difficult for him to fight against the Cauldron Dragon Star Venerable. Especially the Cauldron Dragon Star Venerable, who was supported by the power of the earth. He was much stronger than ordinary Star Venerables. Great. I had a good time. Let's fight again next time. The Cauldron Dragon Star Venerable turned around and left. He did not continue fighting with Yi Tianyun. He knew he would be at a disadvantage if he kept fighting. He was injured. If he had not been injured, he might have been able to keep fighting. There is no need for next time. Let's fight this time. Yi Tianyun quickly stood in front of the Cauldron Dragon Star Venerable. At the same time, his doppelganger also stood behind him. It was impossible for him to let go of the Cauldron Dragon Star Venerable. Unless he could not kill the Cauldron Dragon Star Venerable, he could let him go. Now that he could still fight, things were different. It seems you want to fight to the death with me. The veins on the Cauldron Dragon Star Venerable's forehead bulged. He did not want to do that. Yi Tianyun had killed so many of his subordinates. He would not let go of Yi Tianyun. But he was in a serious situation, so he could only choose to leave. Otherwise, if he died, it would be over. Fight to the death. You think too highly of yourself. I don't want to fight to the death with you. I want you to die, Yi Tianyun said, looking at him with a smile. It seems that you really think you can take me down, Cauldron Dragon Star Venerable said angrily. It's all right, at least it seems so for now. Yi Tianyun shrugged. Cauldron Dragon Star Venerable looked at Yi Tianyun without saying a word. Then, he waved his hand and cut off his own arm. A large amount of green blood splattered all over the place. When it landed on the ground, the blood quickly seeped into the ground. A moment later, the ground began to shake violently, as if something was breaking out of the ground. Since you insist on dying, I'll take you down even if I have to risk everything. The Cauldron Dragon Star Venerable was furious. He had not wanted to use this move. He had wanted to go back and get ready to kill Yi Tianyun. Right now, he could only forcefully erupt and release his strongest power. If he hadn't killed Yi Tianyun, then Yi Tianyun would have killed him. Yi Tianyun saw the ground protruding rapidly. Soon, a giant tree emerged from the ground. It turned into a towering tree and covered the Cauldron Dragon Star Venerable. The Cauldron Dragon Star Venerable swallowed the towering tree. Thick vines emerged from his body and wrapped him up tightly. The place where his arm had been cut off had already recovered. He had cut off one of his arms and released a large amount of essence blood to activate his strongest power. After the giant tree had fused with him, his power became more solid. It was as if he had really put the power of the earth on his body, forming a perfect fusion. After a moment, after the perfect fusion, the Cauldron Dragon Star Venerable's body did not change much, but his power had become more solid. Whether it was in terms of power or defense, they had formed a perfect combination. However, Yi Tianyun could feel that the Cauldron Dragon Star Venerable's life force had started to fade away after he had done that. Sure enough, this move could not be used casually. Once it was used, it would have a serious impact on him, whether he won or lost. If the Cauldron Dragon Star Venerable had not been forced to use it, he would not have used it. It would have consumed too much energy, and it would have affected his cultivation when he tried to break through to the Grand Star Venerable realm. He had been so conservative because he wanted to break through to the Grand Star Venerable realm. That was why he had not dared to use it casually. Every time he used it, there would be serious side effects, and it would take a long time for him to recover. If he had a choice, he would not have used it like that. He had no choice but to use it. I haven't used this move for a long time. Let's end this farce. The Cauldron Dragon Star Venerable looked calm. He gently raised his hand, and all the trees and life force around him gathered and turned into a sharp blade in his hand. It was the Sword of Life. The Sword of Life did not give life to the opponent. It cut off all life. Everything it touched would be cut off easily. Good power. You should have used this power from the beginning. Why did you wait until now? Yi Tianyun looked at the Cauldron Dragon Star Venerable's power and said with a smile, but that's it. I thought you could use some other power. This power is still too weak. You are just showing off, but it is meaningless. The Cauldron Dragon Star Venerable raised the Sword of Life and slashed it down quickly. A green light shot out. A giant sword radiance traversed the whole world and headed straight for where Yi Tianyun was. Everything in the place attacked withered. Everything was sucked dry by this power. Even if they did not die, they would be sucked dry to the last breath. Yi Tianyun stretched his waist and said with a smile, originally I wanted to hide some of my power, but it seems that I have to use it now. Compared to your explosive power, I think it's a little stronger. That's right. He raised his hand and made a grabbing gesture. He wanted to stop the attack with his bare hands. You overestimate yourself. The Cauldron Dragon Star Venerable was very calm. In his opinion, as long as he used this power, nothing could escape him. At this moment, Yi Tianyun's power suddenly soared into the sky and increased greatly. From the middle stage of the Star Venerable realm, he reached the late stage of the Star Venerable realm in one go. At the same time, the 36 star forces above his head took a big step forward and reached 41 star forces. His star forces had increased by 5 star forces. He made a breakthrough. The Cauldron Dragon Star Venerable's calm mind collapsed quickly. He had never expected Yi Tianyun to make another breakthrough. Yi Tianyun had just reached the middle stage of the Star Venerable realm. How could he reach the late stage of the Star Venerable realm in such a short time? Boom. Chapter 2064. Yi Tianyun's trump card was not a move, but a cultivation upgrade. There was no move more powerful than cultivation upgrade. If there was, it would be upgrading 2 levels in a row. Upgrading one's cultivation would greatly improve all aspects of one's basic attributes. This was a real unique skill. Moreover, there were no side effects. It was much stronger than the Cauldron Dragon Star Venerable's move. This was the case now. After Yi Tianyun's cultivation upgrade, his cultivation was at the same level as the Cauldron Dragon Star Venerable. His basic attributes were definitely higher than the Cauldron Dragon Star Venerable's. On this basis, with the addition of star power and crazy mode, as well as the support of the suit, Yi Tianyun reached a new height. He could break the Cauldron Dragon Star Venerable's killing move with one hand. Your killing move is a bit ordinary. Yi Tianyun smiled calmly. He was not surprised by his strength. With the detailed data of the appraisal eye, He knew what to do to crush the Cauldron Dragonstar Venerable. The Cauldron Dragonstar Venerable's pupils shrank. He had not expected Yi Tianyun's strength to be so strong. Yi Tianyun's strength is far beyond him. He is now using all his strength, and even with all his strength, Yi Tianyun didn't cause any damage to him. Just this point alone was enough to see the gap between the two of them. This farce will end here. Yi Tianyun rushed up to the Cauldron Dragonstar Venerable in an instant. He waved his hand heavily. The Cauldron Dragonstar Venerable reacted quickly. He quickly waved his sword to stab Yi Tianyun. His eyes were cold. You will be the one to end this. He exerted his strength to the limit. A large green sword light pierced through, and there was almost no way to dodge. Yi Tianyun did not intend to dodge. He reached out and grabbed the Sword of Life, making it impossible for him to move. The Sword of Life could not stab into Yi Tianyun's palm. It was frozen. The Cauldron Dragonstar Venerable looked shocked. He was shocked by Yi Tianyun's strength. Such a powerful move had been easily blocked, which was undoubtedly a huge blow to him. This is the power you were talking about. Yi Tianyun squeezed hard, and the Sword of Life was crushed with a bang. Then he threw a punch at Cauldron Dragonstar Venerable and said in a cold voice, I will show you what real power is. Chaos Fist. He gathered all his power in his fist and threw it at the Cauldron Dragonstar Venerable like a cannonball. Boom. The power gathered in his fist hit the Cauldron Dragonstar Venerable. The Cauldron Dragonstar Venerable let out a muffled groan as he was punched into the ground. With a loud bang, a huge crater appeared on the ground, and a huge mushroom cloud rose up, stirring up tornadoes in all directions. After a while, the explosion gradually dissipated. The Cauldron Dragonstar Venerable, who was left in the huge pit, had already collapsed. His body had already been smashed into minced meat. The Cauldron Dragonstar Venerable could only move his eyes. He wanted to get up, but he found that he couldn't move. He could only rely on the life force around him to recover his body. However, the recovery speed was extremely slow, and it wasn't as amazing as before. Even if he only had one head left, it wouldn't be as slow as it was now. This had something to do with Yi Tianyun's power. Before, he had only chopped at the Cauldron Dragonstar Venerable without injecting any energy into his body. But now, the power of Yi Tianyun's punch had been poured into the Cauldron Dragonstar Venerable's body, which made it impossible for the Cauldron Dragonstar Venerable to separate his body. If the Cauldron Dragonstar Venerable's body simply exploded, it would be difficult for him to die with his current cultivation. Even if he only had one eye left, it was possible for him to recover completely. He wouldn't die completely. Therefore, he needed to use his power to seal off the whole area to kill his opponent. It was the same for everyone. It was no longer possible to kill someone by chopping them in half with a sword. What was needed was a kind of control, which could completely seal off the opponent's power. After being sealed off, the opponent couldn't even separate his body, so he could only lie there paralyzed. In order to achieve this step, one would need a lot of power, and even more so, a lot of invasiveness. Yi Tianyun's power had great invasiveness. It had taken control of the Cauldron Dragonstar Venerable's body, so he couldn't escape even if he wanted to. Even his healing speed had been slowed down. The Cauldron Dragonstar Venerable's body was filled with Yi Tianyun's power. If he wanted to heal himself, he would first have to get rid of the power that Yi Tianyun had injected into his body. That was why the healing process was so slow. Yi Tianyun landed next to the Cauldron Dragonstar Venerable. He looked down at him and said, "Tell me, who will end this farce?" The Cauldron Dragonstar Venerable looked at Yi Tianyun in shock. He knew that Yi Tianyun had increased his power, but he hadn't expected that he would be killed instantly. It was a real instant kill. He hadn't been able to fight back at all. The Cauldron Dragonstar Venerable had gone all out, but he hadn't been able to hurt Yi Tianyun. He couldn't even block one move. Ha, 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 I lost. But don't be too proud. Our Lord will kill you. The Cauldron Dragonstar Venerable laughed as if he had gone crazy. Our Lord. Oh, that mysterious existence. Yi Tianyun smiled. He has been hiding in a corner like a turtle. What's the point? I almost destroyed the Green Demon clan, but he still hasn't come out. Does he want to avenge you? He had learned all the memories from the Green Demon Star Venerable's head, including the memories of the mysterious lord. Although he didn't know the details, he still hadn't come out. It seems that you still know something. But that's all. The Cauldron Dragon Star Venerable stared at him and said with a smile, soon, very soon. When our Lord comes out, it will be the time of your death. The seal is not a problem for him. Oh, it seems he is quite powerful. Yi Tianyun looked at him and said with a smile, but when he comes out, I guess he will be the only one left in the Green Demon clan. He is alone. What trouble can he cause? Yi Tianyun was ready to destroy the Green Demon clan. Although it would take him some time, it wouldn't be a problem for him to kill all the green demons here with his great power. Of course, I also want to know more about the inside story. Yi Tianyun reached out to grab the Cauldron Dragon Star Venerable's head. Let me see what your memory is. The Cauldron Dragon Star Venerable struggled. His eyes were burning. Don't even think about searching my memory. It's impossible for you to search my memory. That's what one of your companions said last time. Yi Tianyun smiled calmly. He grabbed the Cauldron Dragon Star Venerable's hand and emitted a faint light. Then he exerted the Super Soul Search to extract the Cauldron Dragon Star Venerable's memory. No Star Venerable could escape from his Super Soul Search. Chapter 2065. All of the Cauldron Dragon Star Venerable's memories had been extracted by Yi Tianyun. Nothing was left. Unless he didn't want to extract them, none of them could escape his search. After extracting all of his memories, Yi Tianyun's eyes lit up. He looked at the Star Venerable and said with a smile, I didn't expect that even you don't know the real situation. You only know a small part of it. It seems your mysterious lord is really mysterious. Even you don't know. After searching, the Cauldron Dragon Star Venerable knew a little more than ordinary Star Venerables, but only a little. For example, the mysterious lord's memories were not clear. He only knew he was very powerful. How powerful could he be? He must have reached the level of a Grand Star Venerable, or even already. As for the details, he didn't know. He only knew he was doing something, so he didn't come out. It didn't matter. Anyway, whether he came out or not, Yi Tianyun hoped he didn't come out. How could you search all of my memories? The Cauldron Dragon Star Venerable was shocked. His soul was not hurt by the super soul searching, and he could even search all of his memories. He had never heard of such an ability. If there were such a powerful move, they would have already searched a lot of memories. They wouldn't have to use other means to force the memories out. You don't need to know that. Yi Tianyun crushed the Cauldron Dragon Star Venerable's head and killed him. Since he had finished searching the memories, he didn't need to keep the Cauldron Dragon Star Venerable alive. Ding! Successfully killed the Cauldron Dragon Star Venerable. Got 400 million star energy and 200 killing points. Got the Green Demon Divine Star Dharma aspect and the Green Demon bloodline. A Grand Star Venerable. If I really go out, I have to run away. Yi Tianyun shook his head. He had broken through to the late stage of Star Venerable with great difficulty. If he wanted to continue breaking through, he needed not only the Star Dharma aspect, but also a shocking amount of star energy. No matter which one it was, he couldn't achieve it. So, facing a powerful Grand Star Venerable, he could only choose to run. Although he wasn't facing a Grand Star Venerable, he knew he couldn't compete with such a powerful rule power. After tidying himself up, he controlled his doppelgangers to charge around. He couldn't kill the mysterious expert, but he could kill his way through and eliminate the rest of the Green Demon race. He would destroy as many as he could, regardless of the quantity. Yi Tianyun swept all the way, every city he came to, he directly trampled. This was his style of doing things. Be it men or women, old or young, he would crush them all. As long as they were from the Green Demon race, they deserved to die. Along the way, the remaining green demons began to rapidly decrease. Especially with the help of the doppelganger, the elimination speed was undoubtedly faster. As he continued to sweep downwards, the sky suddenly became extremely oppressive. Yi Tianyun felt as if he was being suppressed by some kind of power, causing his flying speed and even the height he could fly to be greatly restricted, gradually pressing him down to the ground. Go! Without hesitation, Yi Tianyun used the teleportation god's stone. He didn't know why, but a sense of danger welled up in his heart, causing him to instinctively run away. No matter what the situation was, it was better to escape first. Fortunately, this oppressive power didn't seal his teleportation god's stone. With a flash, he arrived below the sealed passage. When he wanted to fly up and leave, he found he couldn't fly up at all. It was as if a thick wall had been erected at the entrance of the sealed passageway. He couldn't fly up even if he wanted to. I don't believe it. Yi Tianyun immediately turned into the six-colored emperor dragon main body. His giant body flew up high. However, he could only jump up. He couldn't fly at all. He was restricted by an invisible power. Flying is forbidden. Yi Tianyun's heart sank. Only a Grand Star Venerable could restrict him like this without a doubt. The Great Star Venerables could set limits with the laws. They could restrict a region or a race however they wanted. This was the power of the law, which could restrict people directly. For example, if the sky was forbidden, that area would be forbidden forever. Either the cultivation of a Grand Star Venerable or the Grand Star Venerable lifted the restriction, the sky would be forbidden forever. Yi Tianyun turned into the six-colored Emperor Dragon main body, but he couldn't get rid of this sky-forbidden state. He was restricted by this powerful power. From this, it could be deduced that a mysterious expert had made a move. Maybe he couldn't bear it anymore and came out of seclusion to take revenge. It's just a word, yet he can restrict my flying power. Is this the gap between us? Yi Tianyun thought to himself. Even if he couldn't fight against a Great Star Venerable, he would at least be able to resist. From the looks of it now, it was possible to block it, but it was impossible to hold on for a long time. Then a figure appeared in the sky, looking down at him. Yi Tianyun raised his head and looked into that figure's eyes. It was not a green demon but a cultivator. It was the heavenly purification race, which was rare. Grand Star Venerable. Yi Tianyun narrowed his eyes. As soon as this person appeared, he could clearly feel that extremely powerful power. It felt like he could be killed with one slap. Most importantly, this mysterious expert was not from the green demon race, which made him feel very puzzled. The appraisal eye looked this person up and down, but it couldn't find any more detailed information. Ding! Appraisal eye's level is not high enough. Unable to find more detailed information, the system's voice told him why he couldn't find anything. His cultivation was too high. It was beyond what the appraisal eye could find. Level up. Yi Tianyun immediately leveled up the appraisal eye. It was a pair of eyes that could see everything, so it naturally had to be leveled up. Ding! Star energy successfully deducted. Appraisal eye leveled up. Soon, the appraisal eye was successfully leveled up. The data in front of him quickly updated, and he finally saw the detailed situation in front of him. Heavenly Wandering Yuan, Grand Star Venerable, belongs to the Heavenly Purification race. There was a powerful green demon soul in his body. The two rejected each other and wanted to devour each other. The green demon soul occupied Heavenly Wandering Yuan's consciousness. After Yi Tianyun checked the information, he was immediately stunned. He didn't expect this to be the case. How could Heavenly Wandering Yuan be occupied by a green demon soul? If he could resist a Grand Star Venerable's soul, he must be a Grand Star Venerable himself. Heavenly Wandering Yuan, he looks familiar. Yi Tianyun took a closer look and gasped. Wasn't this the benefactor of the five-colored god race? Chapter 2066. Yi Tianyun had seen Tianyou Yuan's statue in the five-colored holy race's temple. Since he had been tortured by the green demon's soul, his appearance had changed a little, so Yi Tianyun could not recognize him immediately. Now that he took a closer look, he found that it was really the five-colored holy race's benefactor. The benefactor the five-colored holy race had been looking for was actually in their lair. It was unexpected. The five-colored holy race had thought that Tianyou Yuan had left and gone to another region. Who would have thought that he was fighting the green demons down there? For some reason, the green demon's soul had invaded his body. Yi Tianyun guessed that the green demon's Grand Star Venerate might have fought Tianyou Yuan before he died, allowing him to successfully invade. Tianyou Yuan must have been injured or something like that. Otherwise, how could his soul have invaded his body? I really didn't expect that the huge green devil world would be turned upside down by you. You're as disgusting as Qian Yuan. You want to punish the green demons? Then go to hell. Grand Star Venerate Yin Hao's gaze was ice-cold. He extended his hand and pressed down on Yi Tianyun. The power in the surroundings quickly gathered and condensed into the strongest palm strike. The terrifying palm strike immediately made it difficult for Yi Tianyun to breathe. Before the giant palm strike even reached him, his body had already cracked. His body was showing signs of cracking. If this palm strike landed, Yi Tianyun would definitely be severely injured, if not killed. This is the power of a Grand Star Venerate. Yi Tianyun was shocked. He had still greatly underestimated the power of a Grand Star Venerate. This was a qualitative leap. The power a Grand Star Venerate controlled was like a new level. The difference between a Star Lord and a Star Venerate was not that great. Run. Yi Tianyun only wanted to escape, but he found that the surrounding space had been sealed. Or rather, he could not move an inch. He was completely suppressed. I can't even escape. Yi Tianyun revealed a bitter smile. This was really ruthless. The difference was actually so great. Just as he was thinking about how to block and minimize the damage he would suffer, he suddenly felt a chill run down his spine. Up in the sky, Qian Yuan's body trembled and his face contorted. A moment later, he slapped his palm to the side and his attack missed. Boom! The giant palm descended, destroying heaven and earth. The energy swept up and sent Yi Tianyun flying. Luckily he quickly stabilized himself in the air and was not in such a sorry state. The important thing was that he wasn't injured. The attack completely missed. Quick, let's go. I can't hold him down for too long. Heaven-traveling Yuan suddenly spoke, telling him to hurry up and escape. Yi Tianyun immediately knew that Qian Yuan must have regained control of his body. If he hadn't regained control, this palm strike would have landed on him. Yi Tianyun's eyes flashed, but he couldn't escape to the sealed passageway now. The flight restriction was still there. Although heaven-touring Yuan had regained control, he hadn't regained it completely. He still hadn't been able to remove the forbidden space law. However, he could not care about that now. He took out the teleportation godstone and disappeared, flying towards another region of the Green Devil world. It would be fine as long as he didn't confront Great Star Venerable Yin Hao head-on. The next moment, he was teleported to the other side of the Green Devil world. He was very far away from the sealed passageway, as if they were worlds apart. However, as soon as he appeared, a figure appeared above him, waving his hand to grab him. Yi Tianyun didn't have enough time to escape. He was caught in the air. Lad, you are pretty good. You can travel through space in my territory at will. Great Star Venerable Yin Hao regained control of his body again, and he caught up with Yi Tianyun quickly. Star Venerables couldn't rival his teleportation speed. He really treated this place as his own territory. He could go anywhere he wanted to go as he pleased. For the first time, Yi Tianyun felt his escape plan with the teleportation godstone had failed. He had been trapped by the seal. Now that he wasn't sealed, he couldn't escape as fast as his opponent. Most importantly, he was in the space controlled by Great Star Venerable Yin Hao. If he had been outside, he could have teleported to another region at will, and Great Star Venerable Yin Hao wouldn't have been able to catch up with him. Great Star Venerables weren't invincible. There were still limits. They could only control a region, not all of them. If they could control all of them, it would be terrible. Although they couldn't control all the regions, they could control the situation of a race. For example, they couldn't break through to Star Venerate or awaken the Star Dharmic aspect. The green demons were locked in place, but it didn't mean Great Star Venerables could. The green demons could still forcibly awaken the Star Dharmic aspect through the blood sacrifice divine tree. Yi Tianyun narrowed his eyes. It looked like Qian Yuan's body was struggling very hard, and Great Star Venerable Yin Hao regained control of his body. No wonder Qian Yuan didn't show up when he killed so many green demons. He must have been suppressed by Qian Yuan. Great Star Venerable Yin Hao was furious because so many green demons had died. When he was enraged, he would go all out. Heaven-traveling Yuan really couldn't suppress him in a short time. If you want to kill me, just kill me. Why are you speaking so much nonsense? Yi Tianyun said calmly. Do you really think I don't dare to kill you? Die. Great Star Venerable Yin Hao clenched his fist and crushed Yi Tianyun. Bang! Yi Tianyun turned into a bloody mist and disappeared in the air. Nothing was left. I finally killed him. The green demon world is safe for now. Great Star Venerable Yin Hao laughed. Then he stopped laughing, and his gaze became extremely cold. Tian Yuan, you can't suppress me forever. Sooner or later, I'll fight back and take control of your body. Ha ha ha. Great Star Venerable Yin Hao laughed. Soon, the shrill voice disappeared. It was replaced by Sky Touring Yuan's normal energy. Everything seemed quite peaceful. Great Star Venerable Yin Hao's anger disappeared. Tian Yuan regained control of his body. He's dead. Tian Yuan looked at the area where Yi Tianyun had been crushed and shook his head in disappointment. What a pity. Such a talented child died like this. While he was sighing inwardly, the bloody mist in front of him suddenly condensed and formed a body again. After a while, the body completely recovered. It was Yi Tianyun himself. I consumed too much star energy. What a loss. Yi Tianyun came back to life while cursing. He said something that Tian Yuan didn't quite understand. Tian Yuan was dumbfounded. He could clearly feel that Yi Tianyun was destroyed, and even his soul dissipated, but now Yi Tianyun was reborn, which he didn't expect. Chapter 2067. Before the system had evolved, Yi Tianyun would have died for real. Now that the system had evolved, he could spend a certain amount of star energy to resurrect himself. That was a terrifying number. 200 million star energy. He had killed a star venerable in the late stage, and his experience had increased by 25 times, but he had only gained 400 million star energy. In the blink of an eye, he had lost half of his star energy. If he didn't have star energy, he wouldn't be able to resurrect himself. He would really be dead. As for sacrificing his clone, that would be too wasteful. He wouldn't sacrifice his clone. Anyway, if his clone was destroyed, he wouldn't be able to live. Yi Tianyun had thought it was a waste of star energy to die helplessly, but it seemed like it was still acceptable. Great Star Venerable Yin Hao's anger had subsided after killing him, and Tian Yuan had easily taken control of his body. This was unexpected. You didn't die. Tian Yuan looked at Yi Tianyun in a daze. He had been sighing about how unfortunate it was, but he had been resurrected in front of him. Senior, do you really want me to die? Yi Tianyun asked with a smile. That's not it. I just sensed that there was no aura left. Under normal circumstances, I would have died without a doubt, but you were able to come back to life. Could it be that you used some sort of special technique to deliberately deceive the enemy that you were dead? Heaven-traveling Yuan had never seen such a technique before, so he was momentarily intrigued. Something like that. It's a special technique. Ordinary people can't use it. Yi Tianyun smiled. Ordinary people couldn't use it. No one but him could use it. Anyway, it's a good thing that the green demons were suppressed. Yi Tianyun looked Tian Yuan up and down. His aura was steady. There was nothing wrong with him. As soon as he finished speaking, Tian Yuan's body shook. A green aura appeared on his face. Impossible, you didn't die. Ah, you didn't die, I'm going to kill you. Great Star Venerable Yin Hao wanted to take over Tian Yuan's body right away so that he could take over Tian Yuan's body. Get out of here. Tian Yuan snorted coldly. He released a powerful force and suppressed Yin Hao, the Great Star Venerate. After suppressing it, he took a deep breath and muttered to himself, "You still want to come out?" Too naive. He was obviously speaking to the Great Star Venerable Yin Hao. He had been too infuriated and couldn't control himself. Now that his anger had subsided and been suppressed, it would be difficult for him to come out unless something extremely infuriated him happened again. After suppressing him, Skytor Yuan looked up at Yi Tianyun and smiled. It's all thanks to you this time. Otherwise, I would have had to spend a lot more time to suppress him. Senior, there's no need to thank me. Didn't he come out because of me? Yi Tianyun knew why Great Star Venerable Yin Hao could come out. It was all because of him. That's true, but you've also helped me clear out a group of green demons. He had been witnessing everything, and the rage in his heart grew stronger and stronger, to the point where he couldn't suppress it. Skytor Yuan shook his head. He looked at him with a glint in his eyes. I didn't expect to see someone like you again after so many years. I thought you were from the five-colored holy race. It turns out you're not from the five-colored holy race. Instead, you're from the inconspicuous human race. The human race was widespread. Their comprehensive talents were average, which surprised Skytor Yuan. The five-colored holy race is in a dangerous situation. If they don't suppress the green demons, I'm afraid they won't be able to hold on for long. Yi Qianyun told him the details of the situation, especially the part where the five-colored holy race had been looking forward to Skytor Yuan's appearance. Alas, it's a long story. Great Star Venerable Yin Hao counterattacked from behind, and I happened to be in a tie with him. He wanted to die with me, but I suppressed him and trapped his soul in my body. It will take a long time to kill him. After all, our cultivations are about the same, so we can only kill him bit by bit. As for the five-colored holy race, I'm very sorry. I didn't expect such an accident. Since Great Star Venerable Yin Hao is suppressed in my body, I can't attack the green demons at will. You saw the situation. If I attacked him at will, he would definitely jump out and break free from my suppression. Skytor Yuan explained. At the same time, he made a hand seal, and a roulette appeared in his hand. Take this back and tell them that they don't need to guard this place anymore. They've already done their duty, so there's no need to continue. Besides, the situation here is much better. I'm afraid the green demons won't be able to make a comeback for a long time. Speaking of this, Skytor Yuan revealed a look of admiration. He had been observing the situation in the green demon world. He had seen Yi Qianyun's plan with his own eyes, and he had also seen him kill many green demons. The blood sacrifice divine tree was gone, the cultivators had been rescued, and a large number of green demons had been killed. Under such circumstances, could the green demon race still make waves? Yi Qianyun took the roulette and said with a sharp gaze, the five-colored holy race has naturally completed the mission, but I haven't. I have to kill all of the green demons to complete the mission. Not only did he want to kill all of them, but he also wanted to complete the main mission. He had to complete it. But if I do that, Great Star Venerable Yin Hao will definitely be infuriated, and he will take control of my body again, Skytor Yuan said in a deep voice. I'm afraid he will come out again. Is there no way to suppress Great Star Venerable Yin Hao or kill him? Yi Qianyun asked. There is, and the method is quite simple. I just need to find another Great Star Venerable to work with me. That way, we can suppress him, Skytor Yuan said seriously. Yi Qianyun rolled his eyes. This was no different from not saying anything. It was not easy to find a Great Star Venerable. Even if they found one, they would have to pay a high price. How could the reward for a Great Star Venerable be low? I know it's a bit difficult. The other way is to wait for me to wear him down bit by bit. It'll be over after a while, Skytor Yuan said with a smile. How long will this take? Yi Qianyun raised his eyebrows. He wanted to complete the mission as soon as possible. About a few million years. Skytor Yuan estimated the time. Yi Qianyun rolled his eyes. What was the difference between this and not saying anything? A few million years. He would have become a Great Star Venerable by then. Why would he need to wait for a few million years? These are the only two ways for now. I haven't thought of any other methods yet. Skytor Yuan thought for a while and felt there was no other way. But if I find a Great Star Venerable, I can ask my friend to come. I can't leave this place, but you can help me find him. If he comes and solves this problem, I'll give you a good reward. What do you think? Chapter 2068. That's not a bad idea. I can help you find a friend. Yi Qianyun nodded. He was willing to be an errand boy in order to complete the mission. It was better than asking a Grand Star Venerable himself, which would cost him a lot. Now that Tian Yuan was asking him to find a friend, things would be different. It would be much easier to find a friend, and he would not have to pay the price. He could even get a reward. He did not really care about the reward. What mattered was finishing the mission quickly. In fact, the best solution was to kill Tian Yuan. That was the simplest way to solve the problem. Of course, Yi Qianyun would not do that. Although it was the most thorough way, Tian Yuan was not wrong. Moreover, Great Star Venerable Yin Hao could be removed, so he would not do such an extreme thing. Okay. This is my token. Take it to the Grand Star Venerable of Celestial Ring in the Big Ring Field and tell him about the situation here. Tian Yuan took out a branch. Tian Yuan's aura and information were in it. Yi Qianyun took the branch and said in confusion, "The Big Ring Field doesn't seem to be around here." He had never heard of the Big Ring Field. He knew all the fields nearby, except the Big Ring Field. Yes. The Big Ring Field is a bit further away. You can't go there without power. You are already a Star Venerable. It won't be difficult to go there, but it will take you some time. Tian Yuan raised his hand and a ring fell into his hand. He gave it to Yi Qianyun and said, "This is my magic weapon, the Moon Silver Ring. It has been with me for many years. If enemies come, fight them well." The Moon Silver Ring was a piece of galaxy-grade equipment. Yi Qianyun's eyes lit up. This was a rare piece of galaxy-grade equipment. He had never had a good weapon. Maybe if he used this weapon well, it would increase his power. The Moon Silver Ring. This doesn't seem to fit your style. Yi Qianyun looked Tian Yuan up and down. It was weird for a man to use a silver ring. Cough. 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 It's a gift from Celestial Ring's Great Star Venerable. It's actually one of the keepsakes, Tian Yuan said after coughing. Celestial Ring's Great Star Venerable gave it to me. Yi Qianyun suddenly realized that the Celestial Ring's Great Star Venerable was definitely a female cultivator. She must have given her weapon to Tian Yuan. No wonder she asked him to look for the Celestial Ring's Great Star Venerable. She was a confidant. If she knew that her sweetheart was in trouble, she would definitely rush over immediately. Good. I'll find Starlink's Great Star Venerate for you, Yi Qianyun said, smiling. All right, I've lifted the flight restriction. You can go back now. Tian Yuan looked at him and said, "You don't have to worry about not having enough time. As long as I don't leave this place, there won't be any problems. You can take your time. In terms of body control, I'm still the main one. That guy won't be able to counterattack unless someone helps him." Yi Qianyun nodded. As long as there were no problems here, nothing would happen to the heaven-traveling Yuan. He had gotten through the daunting experience without any mishaps, but he had consumed a lot of energy. He had wanted to continue eradicating the green demons, but he had decided not to do so. It would be troublesome if Great Star Venerable Yin Hao counterattacked. Besides, if he wanted to eliminate all the green demons, he had to kill Great Star Venerable Yin Hao. Otherwise, how could he eliminate all the green demons? Therefore, it was more important for him to solve the problem of the soul first. Soon, he returned to the surface with the help of the Ji clan's patriarch. "Sir, it's great that you're fine." The Ji clan's patriarch was quite happy to see Yi Qianyun come back safe and sound. At this time, Yi Qianyun also saw the village heads that he saved, waiting for his return. When he came back, they all came up to him to ask him about the situation. "What could have happened to me?" Yi Qianyun said with a smile, "The green demons down there have been mostly eliminated. There are only a small part left. The biggest problem is Great Star Venerable Yin Hao." Great Star Venerable Yin Hao? Their expressions changed. Although they did not know who Great Star Venerable Yin Hao was, they were all scared when they heard the words Great Star Venerable. Great Star Venerables were above Star Venerables. They all knew that. They did not expect there to be Great Star Venerables in the Green Demon's world. However, seeing that Yi Qianyun was fine, there must be a reason. Then Yi Qianyun took out a roulette and gave it to the Ji clan's patriarch. He said, "This is everything. It's a reply to the 5-colored holy race. A reply to us." The Ji clan's patriarch was confused. He did not know what Yi Qianyun meant. He took the roulette and checked it. Tian Yuan's image appeared. His body shook violently. He looked at the image in disbelief. Sir, that was a legendary figure. How could he not be excited? Tian Yuan's message was simple. He said he felt sorry for them for giving them such a difficult task. He had only asked them to guard the green demons for a bit. He had not expected them to persist for so long. Tian Yuan had wanted to sweep through the green demons and let the five-colored holy race leave after dealing with them. However, he had not been able to come back for so long. The five-colored holy race had been guarding the green demons. Now, Tian Yuan had told them not to guard the green demons anymore. Their mission had been completed. When he had the chance, Tian Yuan would come back and compensate them. Ji Clan's patriarch, you've completed your mission. You've exceeded your expectations. Yi Tianyun smiled. Their persistence had finally paid off. No, we haven't completed our mission yet. Since Sir is down there, we will guard the green demons until Sir comes back. The Ji Clan's patriarch looked at Yi Tianyun gratefully. I didn't expect you to bring us such news. Thank you, Sir. You still want to guard this place? Yi Tianyun asked. Yes. As long as the green demons are not exterminated, our mission is not complete. Lord Tian said we've completed our mission, but we still think we haven't. The Ji Clan's patriarch represented the five-colored holy race, so he was the one to speak. All right, but this mission will be completed soon. Yi Tianyun admired the Ji Clan's patriarch's determination. He turned to look at the cultivators. Come with me. I'll take you back and arrange a place for you. He had come out to take them back. They could not stay with the five-colored holy race forever, could they? After making arrangements for them, they could go to the Greater Ring region. The Greater Ring region? It's a bit far. I can see the world under the rule of a star venerable. Yi Tianyun's eyes flashed. He was looking forward to this trip.